A proto-Semitic Allah, further down, tells us was a black god represented by a black bull whose hide denoted his black skin.
Here's the picture that he showed on the screen. It's a deity El, the god El. Pay attention to the crown or the headdress, if you will. This is a picture from the front of the same statue, a little closer, and a little bit from the side here. Now, this headdress is actually the Atef crown. If you go on Webster's online dictionary, that's what it says. Atef is the specific feathered white crown of the Egyptian deity Osiris. It combines the head jet, the crown of Upper Egypt, with red ostrich feather for the Osiris cult. The Atef crown identifies Osiris in ancient Egyptian painting. If you go to Webster's dictionary, Merriam-Webster, it says Atef, hold on, a tall crown with a long feather on each side, shown in the art of ancient Upper Egypt as worn by Osiris. Okay? Here you can see Osar or Osiris with the Atef crown. This is from the papyrus of Nebket. It's actually in the Louvre Museum, and you can see me filming that papyrus on the video entitled Reality Check. Why black people ain't going nowhere, but you might as well put Afro Style Reality Check, it's gonna come up. And in here it's also from the Louvre Museum. You have Osiris in the middle with the Atef crown, and the description for it, if you go on the website of the Louvre Museum and you type Royal and Divine Triad, you can do a search and you will see they mention that he is actually wearing the Atef crown. Now finally you can compare the crowns. Okay, first you have the god of the Arabized Negroes, which first is El, but somehow, some way becomes Allah. But that's up to y'all. That's up to the doctor. And then you have the one that I showed you, Osiris. Then again, from the front, compared with another statue of Osiris, and then finally the same statue from another angle.
Biblical King's Seal discovered in dump site. This is the royal seal of the King Hezekiah, and here we have an Ankh. And finally, last but not least, you need to see it to believe it. The God of the Bible, El, slept in his own dung and urine. This is Ugaritic Narrative Poetry, page 195. And we also have this book here, the Masria in the Prophetic Literature, where it clearly says that El floundered in his own feces and urine. Oh, I forgot this. One moment. Hotep Senuhena Senut Tilen Ishakanugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. The title of this video is Panafricanism is ineffective. Let me first check the sound. I'm going to reduce the volume a little bit. It's a bit loud because if I raise my voice, it's going to be crazy. So I'm going there. I'm going to go here, for example. Now let me listen to how it sounds. Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. It's a bit low now, so I'll raise it a little bit. Here, microphone check 2 3. Microphone check 2 3. Okay, that'll do like that. Okay, it's 7 a.m. in New York. And for those who don't know the deal, only the supporters can post in the chat. You have the link to join. It's $3 per month. That's $36 per year. I don't know any personal details. This is handled by Google/YouTube. And you can cancel at any time. So this way you can support the channel, not with the mouth, but in actuality. Because I heard that people put money where their mouth is. You have people who will follow you and ask you 10,000 questions and claim that they are down with you, but never once in their lifetime they ever made a donation of $1. On the other hand, they will support financially and morally frauds, liars, rapists, pedophiles, anti African people, and even anti black people. So it's on them. I'm not going to spend my lifetime waiting for them to step up to the plate. So that being said, I want to go through what the people have been saying. We have a situation where an elder is going wild, and elders, people who are older than him, are not saying anything. They are not saying anything. So let's listen to what the people are saying. We're going to look at the brother senator's video where he has interviewed Sekou. And it's a great thing that Senator did not fall his international set tripping, that he gave an opportunity to Sekou to speak, because otherwise it would have been messed up. I mean, these guys have really tried to have people very angry at Sekou, and it's just horrible. And the sad thing is that we will see the real reason why he went at Sekou. So I've shared that link, right? So let me share the screen now. So we're going to see what the people have been saying. We're going to go through the comment section. All right. Here you can see the first comment is by yours truly. And I've written, Reggie has admitted live on air that his dislike for Sekou is due to Sekou's support of Jabari. It's on Senator's video at minute 2:42:30, and you have the link. Therefore, Reggie is being irresponsible, making this an ideological issue, when in reality it all stems from a personal issue, which is his hate and jealousy for Jabari. Shame on you, Reggie. So let's verify, let's show and prove. I'm going to click on the link of another senator's video. That's when I was a guest for the first time on Senator Studios. That's over a month ago. And the timestamp is hour 2 minute 42 second 30. 2:42:30. So we have the good old advertisement. I'm going to skip it. And it's 2:42:30. 2:42. You know what? I'm even doing 2:42:15 for the novelty of it. 15 seconds prior. Let's listen up.
See, I'm talking about, and one thing is to talk about information, and one thing is to talk about politics. So when we're talking about information, right? And that's what I thought we was talking about, right? I can talk about information, right? Now, if you want to make
Reggie,
it
are you
personal to
serious?
people, no, I'm not. And so you make these things about offense,
So Sekou
right?
cannot talk about the politics of America?
No, we were talking about information.
No, but Sekou, what is it that he cannot talk about when it comes to African
Oh, he
Americans?
can. I think that it would not serve him to talk about. Lots of times, Sekou comes on and he supports Brother Jabari, right? He
That's your
supports
issue.
Brother
That's
Jabari.
what you should say. You should
So
say,
then
I
I'm
hate on
like,
Sekou
okay,
because I hate on Jabari and he
and I'm
defends him.
like, no. See, you're adding. Don't y'all
But
see this
brother,
brother's
listen to yourself.
character? Don't you
First you
see
say
brother's
he has
character?
no bearing, he should talk to his people, and now you just told the truth. You just betrayed yourself. That's because
No,
he's defending
no.
Jabari.
See that's
So you've heard it for the record. Live on air on Sanetta Studios, Reggie has admitted the real reason why he has issues with Sekou. That's the reason why he went at Sekou. Now, I tried to look for Reggie's YouTube account to show you the amount of subscribers that he has. I'm sorry, it's really low. He doesn't have anything popping on his channel. He has a plan, a Black City plan, or whatever that is, and nobody's rocking with it. It's good to have a plan. Now, if people don't follow suit, then it is what it is. But the xenophobia attracts more people. And for a strange reason, I wouldn't see Reggie's account. So I don't know if he blocked me or if he deleted his account. Because I know that he even uh, put some comment on my video where I was telling the people that I was supporting Sekou. So I really don't know what's going on, but at least I try to look for it. Now, if somebody has the link to you, Reggie's account, then please share it with me. It doesn't have to be right now as I'm live streaming, but even later on. Now, the channel that Reggie is in charge of now, Sanetta gave him the charge of House of Consciousness. Now, first of all, Sanetta Studios, as you can see, has 180,000 subscribers. That's a very large platform. You see that? Now, House of Consciousness actually has 189,000 subscribers. So it actually has more subscribers than Sanetta Studios. You see? So some of the live streams are re-uploads from Sanetta Studios and others, like this one here, my rebuttal to Sekou Kele. I mean, he still wrote Kela, sorry, instead of Kele. Africans have no power, as if Sekou didn't say that already, but, some people are. Here is my rebuttal to Jabari Ozase. Here he has a professor talking about ancestral worship, the same guy who used to bang on Kemetic people allegedly because they are too religious. And there's another video about traditional Babalao and so on, right? So Reggie, until further notice, had a come up. He was given the charge of a channel with a very large platform. And you must have heard what happened in Rwanda between the Tutsis and the Hutu. There was propaganda. The media, mainly the radio. In the Dominican Republic, there's a guy on the radio who's been talking smack about Haitians for the longest, and that helped create even more animosity towards the Haitians. And you do have dark skinned Dominicans, but I don't think anybody will disagree when we say that one of the reasons for the dislike for Haitians is because They tend to have a darker skin than people in the Dominican Republic. Now we've seen what's been going on in South Africa with the xenophobia. Even in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, I've learned not long ago that people who are Muluba, the speakers of Chiluba, there was, and I don't know if genocide is a nice word because they don't really, and I'm talking about the general population, don't really see it as a big deal. But people from that tribe were murdered. Not all, but many. They were specifically targeted. And we have the record, videos of some politician making a speech publicly in front of a crowd, basically saying they have to go or else. And the or else was some mass killing. And it's a bit inconvenient. People don't really care that much. It's not the largest tribe. Well, who knows? But um, actually, I never cared to see about the tribe. 'Cause actually, it might be one of the largest, actually. So I'm going to demographic. What's demographic? There it is. Well, it's among one of the largest tribes. On Wikipedia, they have it as Luba. Luba, that's actually Baluba. I think I said Muluba earlier, but Muluba is the singular, Baluba is the plural. Just like when we say Bantu, Bantu, Ba will make the plural. But I don't claim to speak any of those languages. So Mbote to any people from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, even though that's just Lingala, one of the many languages that they have over there. So now we have Brother Reggie, who claimed that he's been servicing black people for 30 years. Who give the name of all those elders, all those scholars, many of them that we love and appreciate. And the best thing he has done now is resort to xenophobia, all because a person happens to support Jabari. The elders are silent. Luckily this time, the people is supporting Sekou. Sanetta is supporting Sekou. I've been supporting Sekou. But can you imagine if it wasn't that the case? Even to the point where a video was made and shared, but I heard it was removed. And it found its way on YouTube Short and also on TikTok. And we have many xenophobes, like many black Hebrew Israelites. You've heard so many of them who used to say the sticking African. I mean, they could not just say African or the African. They would say the sticking African, the stinking African, and many other derogatory terms. And we have Tariq Nasheed, who has made a business now out of xenophobia under the guise of reparation, which doesn't appear in his FBA website. Hold on. Those Pan African organizations, you have a lot of people who may have done a thing or two, but you have many individuals, like I said in the past, they live their life normally. And once they finish paying their mortgage, then they became conscious. Then they became They started talking about the people. And just have a look, and it's been the same for years. The majority of the revolutionaries and warriors are anonymous and identified. For a strange reason, all the speech that they have, they cannot own up to it, as if it is illegal. You would think it's some terrorist stuff. Now, some people will say, "Oh, we have to be careful." They have the new terrorist law they're trying to put. I'm saying, if you, they might argue that, but then it will mean that all the people who are Pan Africans or uh, fighting for the struggle for Black folks, those revolutionary warriors, those freedom fighters, they are in great danger because they may face arrest at any time. Some will even talk about Conter Pro as if it's the same dynamics. But that's besides that. That's just in passing. The majority of the hardcore warriors and revolutionary, they have that talk with a Twitter finger. They have that talk on the keyboard. You don't even know who they are. You cannot identify them, and some will claim that it's tactical. Tactical. Because they go to the plantation during the daytime, and in the evening time they are plotting for the liberation of Black folks. I mean, that's how thorough they are today. That's how thorough they are today. Now they claim to talk for Black folks, and I have already played all this anti-Black doctrine that they are not speaking out against. So you have many Pan-African leaders who just want the praise, and they have these nice titles: chief secretary of such and such, spokesman of such and such, chairman of such and such, treasurer of such and such. And then sometimes they are introduced, and you have those very long introduction. Or he appeared on that radio program, he appeared on that TV program, he appeared on that YouTube channel, he appeared in that magazine, and he was given such and such award. He's a naturopath. He's a certified uh, pilot. He's a this, and I mean all those things. Yet when we have clear instances of xenophobia, they are silent. That's being ineffective. Now, if the way to go is to be xenophobic, then at least say it from the get-go. This means that you can roll with those Pan Africans for years, for a decade, or maybe two. And one day you're going to say something that they don't like, or you're going to support somebody that they don't like. And if you happen to be from overseas, then they can just use that xenophobia against you. That's what they can do. So let's see what the people say. Now, in France, I was close to a few Pan African organizations. And just like some people in America are cool with rapists and pedophiles, and for those who don't know, you can ask Truckfield, the Dagger Squad, Garfield Reed, Reggie. You can ask the conscious community. They know those people.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
So in France, there are some Pan African rapists and pedophiles, and I was never cool with that. So I was attacked, slandered. My computer was stolen. The projector as well was stolen. The elders didn't say a word. The Pan African elders are some weak dudes who just want to get the benefit and the praise, and they will not take any action. They will not speak out, and they have no influence whatsoever. Those Pan-Africans just want to create events so they can make money. That's all they want to do. Some of them actually is really a part-time job, and for a few of them it's a full-time job because they will do lectures all around and sell different merchandise, books, videos, and what have you, and they make a living out of that, and they don't want to ruffle any feathers, which means that somebody can even rape children, they will not speak out about it. Somebody can be FBA and rape little girls, underage girls, they will not be criticized. But somebody will be from overseas and not doing such heinous crimes, they will get criticized only because of where they were born and where they grew up. Pan-African started as a noble cause for the freedom of African nations, and that goal has been achieved. Some will argue it's on paper, yes, but to me, if I was to make an analogy, it's as if somebody today in 2023 tells me, I'm a maroon, I'm a runaway slave. Wake up. You're not a maroon. You're not a runaway slave. Now, if you want to claim lineage to the maroons, fine, but you are not a runaway slave. Going to work is not going to the plantation. Some people need to slow down. Some people need to slow down. Because when people say that, making an analogy, that when they are going to work, doing the 9 to 5 or whatever other hours or shift that they have, it's like going to the plantation. It's basically saying that just waking up and going to work is just suffering the slavery. Basically, when they go to work, they are struggling. But when somebody's raping little girls, they are silent. And those are revolutionaries and warriors. So my computer, my projector was stolen. People filmed my parents' house, put it online. The elders didn't say jack. The elders are useless. The elders invited the pedophile to make a lecture. Just like in America, the people who were convicted for sexual misconduct against children have been on several YouTube channels. Nobody said a word. Zion Lex criticized Polite. Polite hasn't been judged yet. His trial is coming in a few days. So we will see. Yet, with the said tripping of religious group, Zion Lex had no problem inviting that dude who allegedly was convicted twice for sexual misconduct with a minor. I mean, how bad can it be? Now, before I forget, who's celebrating the death of Africans? Who's celebrating the death of Africans? Let me share the link. Let me share the link. Because MCs act like they don't know. There's some inconvenient truth. People use the terms, hold on. People use the term Pan-African as a label, as a badge of honor. So as long as somebody claims to be Pan-African, he should get some respect somehow, some way. Celebrating the death of Africans. So you have the link in the chat. Now let's listen up.
Last question, I'm gonna let you go.
Yes, sir.
What is this foolishness when some of these guys practice the Passover? Tazariak told me that we are celebrating the death of Africans. And I'm like, what is you talking about, man? The death of Africans. So when they have these Passovers, is the misteachings that these brothers be receiving. They say, well, you know, it was the Africans who enslaved us in Kemet, and we had to fight our way up out of Kemet. And so this is why we celebrate the Passover. And I said, brother, are you celebrating the death of men, women, and children, brother? Of African babies? That's when he made the ignorant statement of, yes, I will not feed the African child.
So you heard it. Sanetta is reliable. Sanetta was talking to Baba Heru. And he stated that Tazariak, Captain Tazariak, member of ISUPK, told him that they are celebrating the death of Africans. So maybe Captain Tazariak would say, no, I didn't say that. This is slander. This is defamation. But this is quite old. I have not heard any statements I have not heard any correction. So we can presume that this statement is accurate. But we have seen the video of Captain Tazariak telling a young boy who was obviously underage that he would not feed him because they were having a cookout or barbecue coming up. And because one of the parent of that young boy is African, that's the reason why he told him that. I mean, FBA, you need to have one parent, one FBA parent. If the other one is non-FBA, apparently it's okay. And there's Martin Rowland. I saw a post of Tariq Nasheed where he was talking about the lineage, the parents of Martin Rowland. So on one hand, you only takes one parent, but on the other hand, like Martin Rowland, or maybe I don't know where he was born, but he did that before with several media outlets. And it's like picking and choosing. If somebody says what you like, you're good. You don't say anything. If somebody says what you don't like, oh well, one of his parents is from abroad, both of his parents are from abroad. But we know about the greats who were not born in America, like Marcus Garvey, Dr. Ben, Dr. Alvin Van Sertima, and there's so many others, so many others. That's cherry picking, like people say. That's picking and choosing. So on one hand, people are accusing, and actually, it was yesterday, and it's a shame for whatever reason I don't see Reggie's comment, but I read in the chat Reggie writing he should apologize to FBA. I'm sorry, to Black Americans. He didn't use the term FBA. So he was surely talking about Sekou. Sekou is supposed to apologize. But yet we have people who celebrate the death of Africans and it does not bother anybody. So we have people who killed Malcolm X, who decimated the whole family, Hanafi's family, the family of the Imam of Karim Abdul-Jabbar, who have killed and shot so many other black folks, who teach that that black people are marked, disfigured, that our phenotype is the essence of ugliness. Well, people who celebrate the death of Africans, but that doesn't bother anybody based on geographic location. And the elders are not saying anything. And now we have somebody who apparently did the work for 30 years. What work? I'm not sure, but he's claiming that. And because of his hate for Jabari, he decided to move on the wave of xenophobia, and we don't hear the elders. How come we have some people with some titles, but they don't deliver? They don't act accordingly when it comes to those titles. Can you imagine you have a village and there's a chief of the village, and no matter what happens in the village, little girls get raped, people teach that black people are cursed, marked, and disfigured, and the chief of the village is not doing anything. He's living his life popping bottles. What's the point? He has the title, but he's not executing the function. So young people, because the old people, you see, they've been in those things for so long, and some of them, they don't have great lives. So them having the title of being a secretary, second in command, chairman, spokesman, treasurer, coordinator, all these different titles, it gives them hype. It boosts their egos. Because besides that, and nothing much popping in their life. So it's kind of like the only thing they have. Like you hear some people say, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. Despite the come up, 180,000 subscribers, it doesn't mean that every time you're live streaming, you have that amount of people. But, you know, even if you have just 10% or even 1% of this amount that's watching you, that's a come up. When you will put your cash out, then people will bless you. Some people will support you. Now, unfortunately, he's taking a direction that is just weird. So there's less support, and maybe that fuels his xenophobia. But the elders are not saying anything. Pan-Africanism is ineffective because Pan-Africans are accepting anti-black teachings. Pan-Africans are accepting rapists. Pan-Africans are accepting pedophiles. I mean, my son was just abducted. Pan-Africans ain't saying jack, but I'm not surprised. They're gonna say, "Oh, it's personal." That's why you're saying that. You know, I was physically assaulted, and somebody tried to send me to jail. Those elders didn't say jack. The Pan-Africans didn't say jack. All you have to do is be part of their crew. So then you are free, which means that anybody that loves to rape children can see, well, if I join the Pan Africans, I can rape children and they will support me. And it's not just Pan Africans, but some of these religious groups. You heard Trackfield, the professional runner, saying that the other dude who allegedly committed sexual misconduct on a underage girl has been sheltered by some Israelite groups. So anybody that loves to scam, to steal, to rape men, women, or children, they know they can join these organizations, these so-called conscious organizations, and they will get the love and support and appreciation because you're supposed to be on code. You don't criticize another black man. Because sometimes those elders, those weak elders, that's what they will claim. Because they don't want to say anything, they don't want to do anything. So if something comes up about a black man raping children, they will say, "Oh, we have to be on code. You don't criticize another black man. You don't attack another black man. You got to be on code." And then it's convenient. They don't have to take action. That's just horrible. There's no moral. There's no standards. There's no dignity. There's no integrity. And those are the people who've been running the show for I don't know how long. So let's go to those comments. Let's have a look. Let's see what the people are saying. Going to share it. Just give me a moment. There it is. Let's see what the people are saying. I'm not making it up. That's what the people are saying. I've shared the link already. And you have it in the chat there. It's that one. Brother Sekou Strikes Back. Now here. Of course, I will not read all the comments because there are 244. So I will not go through the replies, for example. Okay. This person wrote, "Reggie, I hold my comment for respect for you, but this was very sad." So Nini Nyaniso, they will say, "Oh, that's a non-FBA." By the name, we can tell. Miseducation has made Dr. Reggie's intelligent turn against him. Dr. Reggie was emotional, from a great scholar to an intellectual body. Reggie has become so annoying, I actually hate watching him on the show. I even unsubscribed to the channel he runs because of my disdain for him. This brother did a whole presentation and Reggie comes on and instead of challenging his info, he rather spew ad hominems. It's truly sad how far Reggie has fallen from grace. At this point, it's disgusting. It's clear he's jealous of Jabari and sees Sekou as an outsider. Shirley Laria wrote, "I really enjoyed the show. Why is Reggie attacking Sekou? Maybe it is because he feels threatened by him." Why Reggie is so full of hate? He has always been like that. Knock it off, Reggie. The division over nothing. Your questions were totally irrelevant to the presentation. Fear Minor says, damn, I miss this life. Sekou cooked Miss Reggie. That's what he put. You know, I don't agree with that term, that title, Miss Reggie, but that's how people feel. Sad, Reggie, just sad. Shame on you, Reggie. You need to grow up. For a man in his 50s, he's displaying infantile tendencies. It's so sad to witness such a charade. Kunsu wrote Reggie lately been completely opposite of his master teachers that he invokes whenever he need to sound credible. Old dogs don't learn new tricks. Something is up. They must have caught him with a transformer. Okay, I don't understand the rest. Reggie's out of order and out of pocket. This is the people. This is not me. Now here we have Proper Perspective who wrote, you kick in facts, but understand when you encounter this lack of integrity, stop calling them people Pan-Africanists. Well, what are the Pan-African organizations in existence today? I would like to hear them speak on that. Because we don't just have a case of jealousy and hate towards Jabari. We have a case of xenophobia. I've already played Reggie, who told Sekou, you have no standing in his community. You're nobody. You talk to your people and I talk to my people. Now, if this isn't xenophobia, what is it? There's all the other conversations, other exchanges that I've played. And as usual, the Pan-African organizations, if some still exist, are very silent about that. And I think we have more Pan-Africans, not members of Pan-African organizations, than actual Pan-Africans, members of Pan-African organizations, because they think it's a badge of honor. They think it is something honorable. It's a bit like some people who are going to say they are Catholics. Not all Catholics attend church, but we know very well what plenty of Catholic priests do to young boys. We know that when some, not all of course, some Catholic priests rape young boys too much, and families start filing, taking legal action, filing suits, suing them, taking them to court. The result is that those Catholic priests are sent overseas, abroad. So it's almost like a reward. But when they go abroad and they still rape so many young boys, it's too much, then they have to end up paying off. And all this money that Catholics worldwide, and even sometimes non-Catholics also, give to the church, well, a fair bit, millions of this money, millions of that money is used to pay off the families and the victims of rape by the hands of Catholic priests. And seeing how nobody cares about people of the conscious community raping girls, who knows? Maybe some of the donations will go to pay off the legal fees, or the relocation, or the accommodation, or ultimately maybe the families of the people, the family of the victims, the people who were raped. Because this here is very interesting. Because we have yet to hear Reggie criticizing people raping underage girls. But he spends so much energy going at Sekou and Jabari.
Since I've been a part of this conscious community, sexual misconduct has been condemned and vilified almost unanimously. We saw the rise and fall of Dr. York. We had Hebrew Israelite, the brother by the name of Mighty Hebrew. He was convicted, I think, twice for sexual behavior against minors. He was widely condemned by the Hebrew Israelite community, but apparently forgiven by the Israelites, because I see him all over the place right now on everybody's channel. Another brother by the name of Nazi Yashavel, another Israelite, also involved in sexual misconduct with a minor. We have no idea where this brother is, but he's been sheltered somewhere by an Israelite group.
So you have to call a spade a spade. And brothers and sisters, you've noticed I've been asking for a long time. We could say for about a year, maybe 2 years. What are the Pan-African organizations? Please let me know. But the members of those Pan-African organizations, they know it's best not to give any names because they know that I will ask them, okay, what's their stance about that? They don't have any stance. They don't condemn a single thing, not even rape of children, because they are on code, because you don't criticize another black man. Pan-Africanism is a rest heaven for pedophiles and rapists. It's not just in America. Anybody that loves to scam, to steal, to lie, to cheat, to rape women and rape children, they know that there's no better place to go than amongst Pan-Africans, because when these horrible things will happen, they will not get criticized, because Pan-Africans are so desperate that they need all the so-called help or numbers that they can get. So they will accept people who rape children. They don't care. Of course, there are good Pan-Africans. I'm not going to claim that it's all Pan-Africans, but when you're part of an organization and you know that somebody's a rapist and you don't say anything about it, there's a problem here. I mean, you mean to tell me that some people are going to join some movements, spend their time, money, effort, energy, and on the same breath, you have some people who will steal money, scam people, rape women, rape children, and they have the same status. They are both part of the same movement, and the elders going to be like, "Oh, stop fighting," with their wisdom. And this is not against you, proper perspective. I hope you understand that. I've been saying those things for a long time. I've been saying those things for a very long time, but now it's different because we have evidence now. Garfield Reed, as work as his information is, he is an author, at least listed on Amazon. Even though that's not his government name, he chose a social media name, fine. Plus, he must pay a great part in the economy of the conscious community, because we have so many people who come for him no matter what he says. So it's safe to presume that he may have paid some people off, but he said himself that he received a couple of millions and he's been dealing with economy, helping people with the credit, allegedly. So he plays a part in the conscious community. He's not a nobody, as Reggie would say, or let's say as Reggie told Sekou. And it's the same Trackfield who said on his own channel, it was not a private conversation, it was a public statement, that we have those people who touch on babies. So we have evidence. We have a testimony. See? Some people are looking for testimony for Jesus Christ. And Buddy Ehrman, PhD, calls Paul a witness, even though Paul never met Jesus Christ. So here we have Garfield, who is a witness to these pedos. Now, he has met those pedos, at least one of them. He knows one of them. He has his phone number, at least, or the other one has his phone number, because he said that he called me. So that's proof, that's evidence, but no smoke for that. It is serious. It is more serious than people are trying to I mean, well, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm tripping. I might be nitpicking. Now, of course, the people who love to rape women or children, they won't like that, will they? Pedophile won't like if you criticize pedophile. A rapist won't like if you criticize rapists. So if at least we could have some movements, regardless of their religious affiliation, who are against rape and pedophilia. A few days ago, I've shown some grown men, some elder Hebrews were like saying that it's okay to have sex with 12-year-old girls as long as they have their menses. They even said that it's okay to snatch a woman and rape her because it's in the scriptures. Nobody's appalled. I've played it. It's a video. We don't have just the audio. It's in color and good quality. But nobody's speaking about that. So it must be me. But anyway, let's continue. So I hope, brother, proper perspective that you understand. I'm not having a go at you. You know, I'm basically um I don't know if I sound irritated, but I'm just talking about those people who accept rapists and pedophiles. You see? So if those people are not Pan-Africanists, I like to say Pan-Africans, then let them speak out, brother. Let them speak out. I am so and so, even if it's a nickname or username or social media name, part of such and such Pan African organization or such and such Pan Africanist organization, and I state for the record that we do not support rapists slash pedophiles. I would love to see that. And maybe some of them have asked or right now are asking their elders, their leaders of Pan African organization, can I make that statement for the record? And sadly, they will be told, no, 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 don't get into this infighting. No, 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 we don't condemn another black man. We are on code. There's more importance. Our people are dying. Because this is the thing that we hear sometimes. See, sometimes they want to act like, okay, they want to deal with information. We talk about the information and realize that they're making stuff up. And eventually they might tell you, well, you hate God. Or, well, how does that help us? Our people are dying. It must be me. It must be me. Apparently raping women and children in school now. So, California Sin Citizen wrote, the more Reggie talks and responds, the more Bro Jabari words ring true. He makes the poorest arguments. Montreal Dex wrote, Reggie is now an embarrassment. Unfortunately, he's also shameless. Son of Afulkar wrote, not all grown-ups are wise. Ansare Musa Emmett wrote, Reggie talks and looks like the principal in the movie Problem Child. Jamal Fowler wrote, Reggie was that kid on the playground that did not get his chance to play on the swing set and goes and tells the teacher. Michael A. wrote, Reggie wonders why he gets no donation. Original Man Lifestyle wrote, Sir, you should really examine the damage that Reggie is causing in the conscious community. Far Muhammad was not an FBA, was he? But he got a great pass, didn't he? Now check to this one here. Imhotep Ras. Now, does the full stuff show? No, I have to make it a bit smaller. Hold on. That's the people talking. It's not me. I'm not creating that. I didn't make that up. That's the people talking. Okay. So Imhotep Ras wrote, when I would introduce people to Brother Sars platforms, I would tell them to listen to Reg Mabry. Oh, maybe it's Reg Mabry because I was looking for, I think I've typed Reggie Mabry. So let me just try Reg Mabry. Oh, there it is. There it is. So just for the record, let's see the come up. He went from 1,440 subscribers. He went from less than 2,000 subscribers to having control of a channel with 180,000 subscribers. Actually, 189,000 subscribers. His last video was 7 months ago. The one before was a year ago. The one before was 2 years ago. So nothing much popping on this channel. Here has some videos about crypto market. Here we have, the new French Revolution. Okay, let's go back to what the people are saying. Imhotep Rice wrote, I titled him as Dr. Reggie. I had a great level of respect for him after seeing him stand up to Dr. Cornel West over 20 years ago. For his disrespect for previous Pan-Africanist leaders, after seeing Reg and Unc's unmerited ignorant verbiage towards Sekou over the last week, I am so disappointed and ashamed of them. Now, Marxist 2030 Morpheus wrote, I think Tariq has been, and if you don't understand why people will talk about Tariq Nasheed, it's because of the anti FBA stance. Now, for those who don't know, FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans. I think Tariq has been compromised. He did good with hidden colors and showing respect to Africans. Now that he's gotten the donation money for that museum, he's been going at African and Caribbean immigrants hard, definitely showing signs of someone being bought and paid to cause division. And then you have scholars like Larry who's getting too emotional about the reparation talk. Smart Guy 28 wrote, Reggie, Onk, Garfield, stop and debate. You're hating too much. Here is a very great summary. Real Black Media says Sekou stated African Americans should get reparation. JJ 7000 to Sekou, you against us getting reparations. And I've heard the exchange, and it wasn't a good look, brother JJ 7000. It sounded like either you were not listening or not hearing. We have born F4G in a place to be. How you doing, brother? So, Chris wrote Reggie Wilding. Kanjo Hakim wrote, Brother Reggie, my brother, I'm going to say this with love. You are single handedly destroying all of your credibility that you worked for years. The energy of jealousy that you are projecting is far outweighing your energy of scholarship. And you are an elder that you should be that should be respected, but you are not respecting your own position. Elders should be educating newer scholars, as a parent would teach a wayward child. But you are throwing tantrums as a child instead of taking your position as a respected elder. Other elders will not waste their time on such petty things. Carry yourself like a king. Stop being Brother Reggie and take your place as Dr. Reggie. We miss you, Elder Reggie. We have people who tell Reggie that he should behave like an elder. Do you hear that in other communities, in other ethnic groups? Mister, what do you believe, Ruth? What the hell is going on with Brother Reggie? Sir, you need to mute his microphone when you know he's being disingenuous and going off the rails. It's counterproductive. Some people cannot just say that they are wrong. You correct them, they hate you for life. So instead of just saying that it was wrong, someone can go and look for any way to attack a person, and the ultimate move can be to say, well, this guy's not one of us, not from here. Born Effigy wrote, old don't mean elder in this day. And actually, it's been 2 years that they've been going at Jabari. And remember, go to the beginning of the video. You will see what appears as the first comment, at least on the desktop version of YouTube. I give you the timestamp. And I think it was hour 2 minute 42 and second 30, but you can double check. It is on one of Saturday Studios' video where I was a guest for the first time. Reggie has admitted that his dislike for Sekou is merely because Sekou agrees with Jabari. But Reggie didn't have a problem making this a xenophobic attack, a xenophobic issue, a divisive issue. I mean, at some point, Reggie might be at home in front of the mirror going, Willie Lynch ain't got on me. Suntan wrote, I had enough of Reggie. He's a troll, a smart troll. Cricket Patrick wrote, Reggie, Garfield, and Unc, step aside. There is a new sheriff in town. Joe Martin wrote, it's painful listening to Reggie. Shaking my head. Now, Diamond, I mean, it's so sad because at some point, just because somebody will not be from America, they will be disqualified uh, um, from the jump, from the get-go. Now, you've heard of Dr. Jahi Issa. Reggie was listed as one of the lecturer of the University of Amen. Now, I think the website is no longer there. They tried something, but they associated themselves with some riparianites. I mean, anything that track field is more or less close to is just falling apart. You heard about Tutankhamun curse, King Tut's curse. It's as if there is a track field curse. We've seen Reggie, once he associated himself with track field, we don't even recognize Reggie. The Riparianites haven't live streamed for 3 months. Trackfield himself made a fool out of his squad. Now the Walker squad members now they're kind of saying like, well, oh no, I wasn't that squad. I was just, I was just around. He made a fool. I mean, anyway, Dr. Jai Issa is teaching in Africa. Why doesn't he speak about Reggie's behavior? So why do we need, and I mean, Dr. Jai Issa anyway didn't have a problem with a serial plagiarizer. So, I guess it's a matter of etiquette. It's a shame. I mean, damn. See, brothers and sisters, the importance, I mean, don't cap for the falsehood of your friends, of your comrades. Don't cap for that. Dynamite Reacher wrote, so why do we need to differentiate between blacks/Africans living here and there and born here and there? Now we are creating a new separation of ourselves. I am African. I was born in white folk named the area St. Louis, Missouri of the United States of America. Malcolm L. Haj Malik El Shabazz X said it best: just because a cat has birth in an oven sitting in the alley does not make kittens biscuits. So Africans were transported forcibly to the Americas, and apparently they became something else so much that we are different. And who's been saying that we are different the most? Amazingly, Some Hebrew Israelites come up with a 12 tribe chart, and they disrespect Africans. They say stinking Africans. And on the same breath, they say, well, you guys claim you're from Kemet. When most of the people who follow Kemet don't say that. But amazingly, like we have established yesterday during yesterday's live stream, or the day before yesterday, I think it was, it is apparently impossible that the people of Kemet may have moved. And since they were really on the extreme left side, I'm sorry, on the extreme east side or east coast of the African continent, if they went further, then they went to Asia. So it is apparently impossible that they may have moved left or towards the west. But amazingly, people who found their way to Canaan or Canaan or Palestine or Israel, now they have moved. They have moved. Hold on. They have moved all the way from Canaan / Canaan, and they found their way in West Africa. And amazingly, those guys who have hate for followers of Kemet, it's important to state that they've been saying, we're not from Kemet, we're from West Africa. Those guys are in Egyptomaniacs. But now the West Africa doesn't count anymore. The irony is that Sekou is from West Africa. Those guys just have talking points. They don't stand on any foundation. And a lot of their stands are outdated, and the elders are silent. E. Brock wrote, Sekou said nothing wrong, and I was born in this country. Reggie is a hater. More Wisdom wrote, Onk and Reggie pseudo scholars. Mr. Run Fast Garfield as well. Now, another person that has changed since he associated himself with Trackfield and was obviously contaminated with the COVID-20. Contaminated with Trackfield's curse. Mr. Run Fast. Onk has changed so much. Unfortunately, anything that Trackfield touches is cursed. Tony Lang wrote, Reggie is a pum pum. If you know some people from Jamaica or the Caribbean, ask them what pum pum means. They will tell you. California Sin Citizen wrote, is this dude serious? Sa let you do a show last year where you banged on Asar, him or fake, and Ujao. Cabellian wrote, this is a meltdown. Ronald Baxter wrote, I always liked Reggie, but I can no longer support his anti-African rhetoric. Where are the elders? Why don't the elders speak? The elders are sitting and wait. They are waiting. Okay, I'm waiting. There's a million people who say something, and then I will say that I agree with what they're saying. You think it's risk-taking to condemn anti-African statements. I'm not even talking about anti-Black statements because those Pan-Africans have not spoken out against this anti-Black teaching. No wonder Black people don't value themselves, because this teaching has started in the 1930s, way before Tariq Nasheed's FBA movement, which was a hijack of ADOS anyway. Now, regarding rape, what did Dale Jones say?
We haven't brought closure to Karinga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
Reggie has defended Karenga on my own channel when he came on his own will, when everything was all good. What did Reggie say about Kemetics, as he called them himself?
I don't believe in old Egyptian gods. I don't believe in that stuff. I wasn't even taught that bullshit, right? I'm the one who bangs against the Kemetics. I bang against them and they can't get through me because the gods that they worship, right, were born from another group of thinking, right? So you can't come with me with no goddamn Heru or no other that bullshit. Show it to me in the primary, show it to me in writing, show it to me in the period. You're making the bullshit up.
And all FBA, all Pan-Africans have yet to say that they disagree with this anti-Black teaching that we will hear right now.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you so busy frying it. That's why you so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You've heard it. I didn't make that up. Hence that title, Pan-Africanism is ineffective. The same statements that will be condemned if a white person would have said it. So if they are silent about it, It's a form of consent. It's not from yesterday. Young brothers and sisters, Pan Africanism is ineffective. I'm not telling you to attack or insult or disrespect or fight Pan Africans, but we have the evidence. We have the evidence. Whether it is rape, pedophilia, murder, or anti black teaching, and even anti African teaching, but apparently it doesn't matter too much because of the FBA movement and all the different talk that we've been hearing. But even anti black, none of this is condemned. None of this is criticized. And even the pseudo people who plagiarize, they are glorified. And we look whack in front of the world and have the nerve to use the term scholarship. Let's continue. Let's hear what the people say. Why your king wrote, "What the F is Reggie talking about?" Darius Seals wrote, "Reggie, I respect your accomplishments, but to use them as a weapon and rub them in Seku's face at the end of the day, if you have all them accomplishments, then come with the knowledge." E. Brock wrote, "Reggie act," and I guess he forgot to put like. He's from One West. He acts like Hebrews. Here, Osei Harris wrote, "Reggie the butler is a basket case." Kenneth Arnold wrote, "Reggie is done. He is a joke." Maali Kutz wrote, "Reggie looking bad." Terrence Wash wrote, "Reggie is out of there shaking my damn head. What's the difference between a blood, a Hebrew, a HOK member, a Democrat? Because at this point, I can't tell. Shaking my damn head." E. Broke again wrote, "Reggie looks really bad, not like an elder." What legacy do you want to leave, Reggie? You don't have to remain in this cursed environment of track fields whackness. Before you started rolling with track field, people held you in high regards. This is a fact. You want to remain there, but this is what the people say about you now. That's the legacy that you want to leave? Okay. I didn't know I would go through them so quick. So, I might look at a few replies. See, Cabellian wrote, "Reggie is not a bully. We are watching a meltdown. He champions academia until it's Jabari. It's just jealousy or something may be wrong with health." D High 10 wrote, "Reggie showed who he was when he supposedly helped the Hebrew that battled Seti. Why would he help the Hebrew other than the fact that Seti was the HOK's favorite at the time, just as Jabari is now? He wants to be the man, but it's not about being the man. Everybody has a role to play. All he has to do is play. He's cut out all the jealousy and envy. The irony is that the person he gave information to that debated Seti is the one that allegedly committed sexual misconduct against a child, and that was said by Garfield Reed, Trackfield himself." Nikki really wrote, "He was in the chat over Sanetta last night complaining that the people hate him now. Oh my goodness, the people hate him now. The people hate him now." And he told Seku, "You have no standing in this community. You talk to your people, I talk to my people. He told Sekou, you're a nobody. You're an outsider. He's been talking down on Jabari for over 2 years because he was contaminated by the female cat energy of track field. And even today or tonight, he can separate from that female cat energy tonight. That's his choice. So people hate Reggie now. Everybody and their mama's been telling him, look, man, that's a bad look, man. Reggie, I say it again. You can become rich just by giving mental nature classes. You're on the platform with 180,000 subscribers. All you have to do is give mental nature classes. You won't have to do anything else. You can literally become rich just doing that. I'm doing the 9 to 5. If I have the 180,000 subscribers or was managing a channel with that amount of subscribers, just by doing mental nature classes, I won't have to work doing the 9 to 5. You have a great opportunity in your hands right now, Reggie. You can do museum tours, so many other things. But you chose the female cat energy of track field, and look at the result now. That's what the people are saying. And now you want to play the victim? That people hate you? That's the world upside down, man. That's the world upside down. That's the result of a wrong choice. But it is not too late, Reggie. It's not too late. It's not the end of the world. You say my bad and you keep it pushing. But your behavior, you're in the wrong, and you keep digging and digging and digging in the wrong. You keep digging, looking for something. And you're just digging and going down and down and down and down. You can rise up, Reggie. But it's not going to happen with that female cat energy. Is it worthy? Is it worthy? Obviously, it isn't worthy for him to say that people hate him now. So is it a conspiracy? Is it a non-FBA conspiracy? Amazingly, the majority of people who criticize Reggie are FBA. Thank you, brothers and sisters in America, for not falling for these traps. A lot are falling for these traps. Tariq Nasheed has so many subscribers. I think he has like 300,000 subscribers. Let's see how many subscribers he has on his YouTube, for example. Because on Twitter, I think it was 300,000 subscribers that he had. He's 213,000 subscribers on YouTube for Tariq Nasheed. And on Twitter, I'm going to verify, but I know it's over 300,000. Is it elite? Okay, there it is. Yeah, 306,000 subscribers. You know what's funny? It says 306,000. I had a feeling that it was a bit more before. So I just want to have a look quickly on my previous video, because I did show it. And that previous video is on my channel, and it's my Art Forever all in one word. I mean, you have it on the screen here in the middle, but I mean, actually at the top. I have a new layout. Well, when I say at the top, of course, here. You know, because some people happen to come across your live stream and they don't necessarily know you. Now, let me see. Oh, that was okay. Well, I want to show you the result. I want to show you the result of Tariq Nasheed's foolishness. And that's what I thought. Now, first of all, what I'm going to do is show you on Twitter the amount of subscribers that Tariq Nasheed has. Tariq Nasheed, can you see here? 306,000 subscribers. You see? Now, right now, I'm going to show you the video that I've uploaded a few days ago. I'm going to put the title and the link in the chat. Now, what is it that you're asking about, Brother R. Stallworth? Please feel free. So here, the video is entitled Tariq Nasheed implied that Tyre Nichols' killers are non-FBA, which stands for Foundational Black Americans. Now, that video was uploaded 2 days ago, January 29. We are January 21st. Now, at timestamp 7:48, minute 7:48 seconds. When I went on Tariq Nasheed's, oh, no. I was going to make a mistake. That's his Instagram. Okay, my bad. I was going to make a mistake. They would have, used that and all that. Because on Instagram, he has 319,000 subscribers. All right, so I was going to make a mistake on this one. I saw that the figures were not the same, so I was like, okay, that's how much subscribers that he lost, and he still has 319,000 subscribers. So like I was saying, thank you for my people in America. Now we have 41 people watching. Thank you for not falling for these traps. I and other Africans are not against the reparation movement. We have love for you. In Africa, we have love for Black Americans, for African Americans. Yes, you may come across a few people that are strange or that don't have love for you, but the talk like, oh, they don't care about us. They didn't even send an empty canoe. Like, I mean, in Africa, people are dealing with conquerors. And if you want to put blame, then blame all participants. Why all this smoke for Africans and not for? I mean, some things are just played out. You see. So thank you, brothers and sisters, for not falling for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And once again, for those who don't know, because some people in America don't like me. That mainly is because I proved them wrong. I refuted them. That was the information. But then they kind of use all kind of talks. And back then, I faced this xenophobia. I faced it heavily. And they say, what don't kill you? What doesn't kill you make you stronger. But regardless of all the people in America that don't like me, I'm saying it again, the majority of the people who support me are from America. Black Americans, African Americans. And I'm thanking you. And I'm happy, I'm glad when you appreciate the information that I'm sharing. And when you support me, not only by becoming supporters of the channel, but by making donations, like so many of you are making donations lately, I know that you appreciate the information and it encourages me. I don't want you to go with some information that's going to make people laugh at you. I'm very serious about this. I'm passionate about this. There's some information that I'm giving you. I want you to look good when you speak to anybody, layman or scholar. And if I happen to give you a wrong information, then I will own up to it. And if there's some information that I'm giving you and people try to make fun of you, if it's a layman or a PhD, feel free to holler at me. I don't know it all, but I am quite meticulous. And I stood against many people. And I'm not saying that to brag, but I did. And I passed the test of time. I mean, a few months ago, some of the most pseudo people were presented as the top scholars. It was hell. You know, the NOI have been teaching that hell is a condition. It was hell. Anyway, let's go back to what the people are saying. Oh, by the way, some people feel generous. I have my Cash App and my PayPal. Now, let's see what the people have been saying. Now, you have a lot of comments of people congratulating Seku, by the way. That backfired. That thing that they tried to do, it backfired. But it's not too late. You take a L, you live another day. You fight another day. So Fino wrote, why Reggie is so full of hate? Has he always been like that? Or does Brother Jabari being a better person brought it out of him? Happy Akhenaten wrote, bro, Jabari being a better person brought it out of him. Yes, that. And the fact Reggie is a less talented underachiever considering he served and studied under the Grand Masters, got a college degree, and look at what he's become. Now his degree was in like a computing or computer science or something to do with computing, you know. With the what how did he call it? Punch cards. You know, that was early stage. He said it himself, punch cards. It's not like, you know, it was creating softwares or stuff like that, or dealing with microchips or whatever. And it's not to undermine his achievement. He had a degree, fine, great, beautiful. Jabari's degree is in history. That's different, you know. But all accomplishments are welcome. It's welcome. It's great. It's good. But you see, even if somebody has a PhD, if it's coming to the people teaching stuff like that, like this guy who earned a PhD in Islamic studies, but yet if he comes on stage and say that to the public, where is it? I have it somewhere. Hold on. There it is.
Wrote Kemet garbage. If you want to get off sensitive, come on, go ahead. About blacks conquering blacks. Throw Maya in the trash can. Throw Amin Ra, the slave making God away.
So I even forgot that Dr. Wessam Mohammed PhD that I used to nickname Dr. Backdown back then. The one who challenged me to a debate publicly and backed down after accepting, and we spoke about it. I even forgot that he had removed some videos back then. With my breathing the way I do, I don't want people to think that I'm getting excited or I'm getting a kick of reading those comments of people saying how they feel about Reggie. I think you can tell that, um, kind of got a cold, because of the weather. So What's this new comment here? Oh, our Starworth, you didn't know? You see, brothers and sisters, we have 45 people online. Let people know that this is the channel. This is the place to be. Of course, I'm not saying don't check out other channels. Of course not. But a lot of people don't know what's been happening, and I have a lot of receipts. My brother R. Stallworth, I'm going to play the evidence, which will stand in the court of law. Now, I'm going to play the evidence. Let me just get it. Senator himself will say it. And Senator himself will say that Reggie hasn't admitted to it. Now, would it be... I know it's in the longer intro, but I have some shorter ones. Let me try one of the shorter ones. Thing, my brother, do your thing. Okay, so this one was that one. So now let me try. I know it's in the long one, but if I find it in the other ones, it will be quicker.
Now, Sonetta, I joined.
Okay, so it will surely be that one. A lot of people don't know the move that Reggie pulled. So it has to be that one. Oh. Yes, it's that one. Well, first of all, for those who don't know, you can hear Reggie disrespecting Sekou because of Sekou's geographic location. Oh, you know what? Our Stallworth, we're going to cut the chase. We're going to cut the chase. Our Stallworth, here it is. Yes, Reggie really helped a Hebrew Israelite
For their purposes.
And now today, it is so sad that I have to say Dr. Ben is now rolling over in his grave. Dr. Ben is now looking up, looking down or looking around, wherever, at one of his top students. And he is now saying, what happened to you, my brother? You were supposed to carry on the torch. Now you're going against the greatness of my teachings, of what I taught you. I think it was the time when my brother Dr. Reggie committed treason when Sarah Sutan said he was going up against Nasi Yashavel. And I should have seen it then when Dr. Reggie secretly went behind all of our backs and gave Nasi Yasafel, a Hebrew Israelite, the antidote, the information that can try to kill Sarah Sutan Seti when Seti was defending Dr. Ben, defending Kemet, defending African culture. But Reggie went and gave Nasi Yashavel information against us. I didn't see it then. I couldn't believe it. I said, no, that's not my brother Reggie. He ain't do that. And then I heard Reggie one day admitted it. And I was so hurt, man. I just couldn't believe it, man. That's when Reggie failed. He have no longer become the backbone of Kemet. He have no longer He have no longer become the strength of Kemet. And I just got to say, man, I just feel sorry for my brother.
I'm muted. Brother R. Stallworth, for the record, you see that video here? That's an excerpt from Senator Studios video. And just underneath Saneta's avatar, you can see Reggie's avatar. You see, it says Cash App, $, blah, blah, blah. And we know his logo. We know his avatar. And it says the Black City Plan. He was on the panel. When Saneta said he's no longer the backbone, you hear somebody laughing. That's him. He says, don't do that. You know, he was on air. Some people may feel like Saneta was talking like to the third person, so maybe Reggie wasn't there. Reggie was there on the panel. So if Reggie didn't do that, he would have said, no, I didn't do that. That's wrong. It wasn't really like that. What happened was we have 50 people online, which is good. You know, it's good for like, it's probably what, 8 a.m. in New York now? Maybe it's going to be 9 a.m. in 15 minutes. But anyway, it's the morning in New York now. 50 people online, that's good. So we have the evidence. It's not an accusation. It's not the claim. It's a fact. You see? That's what the dude did. And our Stallworth added, I've joined Kemet just last year in 2022. All of this is new to me, yes. But Reggie had the nerve to say once, and I think I played it, that before he organized the event known as Kemet on Trial, people were not talking about Kemet. But that SETI debate was probably a decade earlier. So he's even been trying to do some revisionist history. I can attest that back in 2008, Sarah Sutton said he was representing for Kemet, and he had the attention of the majority of what we call the conscious community. And the first time I heard Reggie, he criticized Sarah Sutton Seti, saying that Seti is a generalist. Then later on, he said Seti's mouth is filthy. Seti curses too much. And we've heard Reggie lately. So life can be ironic. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time. But you see the irony? Now, for those who don't know, let's listen to how Reggie disrespected Sekou solely based on his place of birth. So, earlier I was asking you, I think you had some connection problem. I was told you said to Sekou, you told Sekou,
I told him
to
go back to
Africa.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I'm gonna say it again. Take your ass back to Africa.
But why would you say something like that?
Because now Smash say, you know you can't say that. The truth is, Sekou is directly from Africa. So if a nigga say, nigga, go back to Baltimore, it's really not disrespectful.
Okay, so Sekou, let me curse you out respectfully.
Yeah, cut me out, Reggie. I'm listening to the hypocrisy because I am wondering where
I'm gonna curse you out.
Cut me out. I'm listening.
Okay. You have no standing. You have in our communities. You're an outsider.
Now, there was an echo. But after Reggie told Sekou, you have no standing in our community, he added, you're an outsider.
You have no standing. You're an outsider. Now, what you are doing is you are a new...
What is your community that I don't have no standing in?
African American.
Reggie, Garfield is not an African American. Garfield
is an African American. Garfield is an African American.
Saneta is a Dominican.
They African Americans.
We African Americans.
What is wrong with you?
Let me finish. Don't want to curse him out politely.
No, because you are wrong.
You have no standing.
You know the irony? Sekou told Reggie, "You are wrong." Reggie wouldn't listen. And now we've heard what the people say. And now Reggie's saying that the people hate him. People woke up one day and decided to hate on Reggie.
In our
Is
community,
Garfield
you're
an African
outsider.
American?
You're not
Is
a
Garfield
part of
African
the African
American?
American struggle. The
Is
African
Sarnetta
struggle,
African American?
Yes.
you're not part of the African struggle in the Americas. Now, don't
No,
you
you
ever.
want to bring.
Reggie just said, "You're not." He was talking to Sekou, of course. "You're not part of the African struggle in the Americans. In the Americas." I mean, man.
Now,
Discrimination. I'm very, very. It's embarrassing that you being an.
Come on, man.
Don't
You
you
gonna interrupt,
ever.
man? Come on, man. Now it's gonna look like, you see, this is why every time.
For those who don't know, that guy is track fear, the running superstar, the one who had everybody associated with him falling off. There was a female cat curse. There is a female cat curse.
Him in the chat are Shaka and Dougal, because they always talk and don't want people to respond.
And that female cat put my name in the mix. You understand what I'm saying? He put my name in the mix, acting like I had no discipline and stuff like that. You know, but when he disrespected me, I clapped back on all these people. You know what I'm saying? See, sometimes people don't know you, they underestimate you. But you know, I ate all these little homies alive. The Dagger Squad, they wouldn't have anything, and I don't mean to sound like I'm bragging, but they hold no weight. Those guys, particularly Trackfield, he's a neophyte. The guy is like 2 years in. I'm 18 years in. The guy was doing credit repair, scamming people allegedly. Some people have spoken up publicly and said that they were scam. I've played some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't understand this levels to this. They think that because they're on platforms with a lot of people, that it gives them legitimacy. But now he's known as a track star.
I don't know how they do that.
But I said I have the floor. I have the floor.
Go ahead,
now,
Reggie.
I don't know how long you've been studying Sheikh Diop. I don't even know if you've heard his voice personally.
You see, those whack talking points. What difference does it make if Sekou heard Sheikh Anta Diop's voice personally? Now, Sheikh Anta Diop was born in Senegal. I mean, the guy is so inconsistent. The hate has blinded him. His hate towards Jabari has blinded him completely. He's telling one African guy that he has no standing in the community, and he's using Sheikh Anta Diop as a positive. But Sheikh Anta Diop is from West Africa as well. I mean, this is so ridiculous. And all Reggie has to do is say, my bad, I keep it pushing. But I guess the contamination of the female cat crew has run deep in the system, in the veins. So we'll see. It's a sinking ship. The Dagger Squad is dead. Those guys felt comfortable on this female cat channel, cheerleading for each other, grown man groupies, to the point where one of them has the nerve to say, well, take him up on his offer and pay him $1,800 so he can show his degree. How weak can black men be? We have a display of the weakest black men on the planet Earth. The irony is that Trackfield told Sekou live on air that Sekou was one of the worst black men, that he is the kind that would have sold him in slavery. How the tables have turned now. What to do when the tables turn? What to do when the tables turn? Oh my goodness, the irony. The irony. And we've heard brother Reggie talking about where in the Met Museum or the Brooklyn Museum, one of those museums in New York, they had a Sheikh Anta Diop exhibit. He's going to use African scholars when it suits him, and he's going to disrespect an African just because of his hate for Jabari. That's being completely inconsistent. But what can you expect from Pan-Africans? Where are the Pan-African elders? Where are the conscious community elders? This shouldn't have gone on for that long.
Ever met Theophilo Benga? Talked to Theophilo Benga? Now, if my community has some questions and I'm a part of that community, I can answer it. Now, there are people who it takes them some time to gather some information. So if Sheffrin wants to say what he has to say, well, we can continue the dialogue with Sheffrin. But don't you ever criticize me for not responding like I'm a crazy convert every time somebody says something about Sheikh Diop or any of these people, right? You know why? Because I have a proven 33 years in this, right?
Now, you heard it once again. These 33 years that he likes to talk about. But I'm going to be cool because, I said some things in the past. I gave a nickname to the brother, to the elder, but I'm going to be nice.
And you have, I don't know what your standing is. I don't know what university you went with. I don't even know who your elders are.
You heard those weak talking points? What does the university have anything to do with the conversation? And then I don't know who your elders are. Who your elders are, Reggie? Now he mentioned Professor Smalls, didn't he? Will Professor Smalls agree with Reggie's behaviors and statements? I doubt it.
I don't even know how long you've told me recently how long you were a Muslim and how long you're not, but that doesn't mean that you haven't studied the culture. Well, I'm gonna ask you now, how long have you studied Nile Valley culture?
How long have you studied what? Nile Valley culture. Same guy who recently used the term Egyptomaniacs. The same guy who ran with Trackfield, and Trackfield was known for using that term Egyptomaniacs. But now that it suits him, how long have you studied Nile Valley culture? And it's funny, like J-Lo sang.
How long?
Reggie, I think you are leading the conversation somewhere else. What you started with?
No.
This is not about me. The discussion was about no standing.
I'm gonna put it on you because I want to know your standing.
You say I have no standing to talk about African American community.
No,
I want to understand what you mean
with
by
information. No, you have no standing. You go and talk to your people. I talk to my people.
You heard that? For those who never heard that, directly from the horse's mouth, I did not make that up. Reggie told Sekou, you go and talk to your people, I talk to my people. Isn't that xenophobic of a statement? Now, Nikki really wrote, as a Jamaican, I'm so disappointed with Garfield's behavior. Wagwan, Everton Chris. Garfield behavior, Lord have mercy. It's some rascal behavior. Oh man. Now R. Stallworth wrote, and unfortunately, I have to do now. If I do remove, it will be back in the beginning. So R. Stallworth wrote, I do remember Garfield, or maybe on the live stream, you see it better. Yes, it's good. Okay. It's different on my end. I do remember when Garfield was mad when FBA went at him, but they are okay with them talking trash to Sekou. They are ironic, individualist, egoistical, hypocritical, hypocrite. I mean, this guy, this female cat energy that he brought in the game, it's so shameful.
Right? You don't talk
Who
about
are your people? Is Garfield African American?
Why you keep calling my name, man? Garfield.
No, because I'm speaking.
And you hear Trackfield, why you keep calling my name? He has no problem with xenophobia at this point because the xenophobia is not directed at him. I see 57 people online. I mean, is this your teachers? Is this your scholars? Is this your crew? Is this your team? Are those your teachers, brothers and sisters? With that female cat energy? You don't like manhood anymore now? You on the female cat energy now? Well, go ahead if you want it. At least be upfront about it, brothers and sisters. Just be upfront about it. So you know what? Now we more or less FBA, and amongst FBA we have several different divisions, and we from the female cat division. We'll bring that female cat energy. We're bringing female cat back.
Garfield is Heathcliff's cousin, man.
Garfield is the African in the Americas. It don't matter where the goddamn slave ship dropped us off. He's an
What are you
African
talking
American.
about?
I could have been
What are you
dropped off in
talking about?
Jamaica.
Reggie.
Now, Reggie, oh my goodness, that was such a horrible display here. But it's biting him in his buttocks now. He said he could have been dropped up to Jamaica, but where was he taken from? Where were we taken from before we were dropped up in those islands and other regions? I mean, my goodness. What are the Pan-African organizations? What do they say about this? They're always silent. What's their purpose? What's their use? The titles and the praise? Karenga torturing a black woman along with his white wife, plagiarizing a Jewish holiday called Hanukkah, putting the red, black, and green paint and calling it Kwanzaa. And people are copying, bootlicking like groupies. And they're angry at you when you point that out. And Dale Jones have played it. He talked about bottles being inserted inside of their vaginas, which is legally rape.
We haven't brought closure to Karinga. We let him build a holiday. The same one who set up Black Panthers in ambushes at UCLA and other places. The same one who tortured his wife and another woman brutally, sticking bottles in their vagina, using electrical shocks, and the FBI saved him.
Now, some people may feel like, well, Dale Jones was tripping. Well, I can play what John Henry Clark said. What did John Henry Clark say? Huh?
He has not atoned to the community for his attempt to destroy the Panther movement. He has not atoned for being a police informer. He has not atoned for the way he treated black women. And look now, the women he mistreated and mutilated were dark in complexion. The women in his harem are light in complexion. The number one woman is a Mexican with what seemed to be an Afro wig.
Salute to Dr. John Henry Clark, who spoke out against his madness. Just like he spoke out against, just like he spoke out against Farrakhan's speech. You know, the anti-black speech, where Farrakhan stated that because we rebelled against God, we became marked and disfigured. This is basically a divine disfigurement or curse, if you will.
Don't do this, Reggie.
We're talking to our experience.
It
You're
must
nobody.
not be
I'm telling you.
No.
Hey, cool. You're nobody. You're zero. You got no standing.
You heard that? Say cool. You're nobody. You're zero. You have no standing. And now, see, if Sekou was Christian, Christians would have said, here we go. Yahweh, Jehovah, Jesus punished you. The irony. He was so comfortable, so disrespectful, so xenophobic, but yet he's saying that people hate him. And thank you for all the people in the chat. Nikki really wrote that's a gang right here, you know. My brother Blaya is the brother who made the layout for me. Did not even charge me. I even proposed to send him a little something. He said, no, brother, you're good. You know what I'm saying? So we have Andrea Brunette wishing me well. We got my cold. We have Nikki Willie. We have our Stallworth. We even have the Pharaoh in the place to be. Thank you. and born FOG proper perspective. I really hope proper perspective did not feel like I was addressing him directly. Please, I hope there's no misunderstanding, my brother.
Except for you two, what scholar knows you? What scholar do you talk to?
What does it have to do with anything? That's what Reggie has been saying for the longest. I know him, I know her, I know him, I know her. The ironic for those who don't know. Reggie spoke a lot about being a student of Rikedi Amen. Rikedi Amen has been teaching the Medu Nature for over 30 years, and Rikedi Amen is a Kemetic priestess. She's a Hamed Netcher, a Kemetic priestess. Jabari is a Kemetic priest. I mean, the inconsistency and the contradictions that we've heard is appalling. Laya wrote, we don't charge family.
What university you went to? You got no standing. Stand down.
You heard? That's Reggie Mabry speaking. He told Sekou, you have no standing. Stand down.
And I ask you, how long you been studying this? Have you been to Egypt? Do you know the Medu Neter?
Do you know the Medu Neter? What? Have you been to Egypt? So if somebody speaks about Arabia, we're going to ask him, have you been to Arabia? Trockfield's been talking about the Jews, the Hebrews. Has he been to Israel? Has he been to Palestine / Canaan / Kinana? Those weak talking points. Those are your scholars, brothers and sisters. Oh my goodness, that female cat energy is off the chain.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. There might be a few more comments and then I'll wrap this up. So, once again, and we have African Renaissance TV. I hope the brother did not take offense. It was a bit heated at one point. The other brother, they were defending somebody that I have described as a... Oh, I forgot that it's a French speaking. Un truc de ouf. C'est un truc de ouf. Ah, mon frère. Mon frère. C'est un truc de ouf. It's difficult to translate that expression, but see, that brother speaks Wolof, man. I mean, with the Medu Neter, man, we're gonna have some good thing going on, man. Good correlations, good similarities. So much good thing we can do, man. But some people are just frauds, man. It's just they cannot help it. It's what they are. I don't want to say any names, you know what I'm saying? But some people, man, they have a track record of making pseudo statements, and pseudo is pseudo, man. Pseudo is pseudo. I know there's some PhD out there. We don't have a problem with people plagiarizing, but in academia, plagiarizing is more the worst thing you can ever do. But anyway, I'm glad you're here, brother. African Renaissance TV. Now, Blaya wrote, Reggie Mala Jabari and Sekou, because for him, he deserves as much love and attention as they got, because he knows more than them when he comes to Medu Neter. For him, yes. All cause of jealousy. Exactly. All of this because of jealousy. All this stuff that he said to Oseku, bringing, have you been to Egypt? Do you know the Medu Neter? Who's your scholar? Which university you went to? And he admitted, like I have shown, he has admitted live on Aeon Sanedo Studios. If you come right now on this live stream, go earlier and I've played Reggie admitting live on Aeon Sanedo Studios channel. That is because Sekou agrees with Jabari. So now somebody dislikes you and he can just use a xenophobia excuse, pretext, when in reality is because you don't share the same views. And that's horrible coming from an elder. So Happy Hakanaten wrote, brother Jabari being a better person brought him out of him. Yes, that. And the fact Reggie is less talented underachiever considering he deserved and studied under the grandmasters, got a college degree, and look at what he's become. Then Leo Vincent wrote that jealous seed has always been there. What's inside will always show itself. Now I realize why my spirit never took to him. He is jealous, envious, and covetous. None of which are good looks. I do believe, though, he needs some counseling or therapy. Well, the elders could give him counseling and therapy, but I don't know where the elders are. See, Blaya wrote, Jamaicans will say, Reggie bad mind. Lord of mercy. And Jabari has been saying that this has been going on for so long. They've been friends for so many years. Maybe a decade or two, but probably at least a decade. And Jabari has said how Reggie will make disparaging remarks towards Jabari, but they have friends in common. So the friends that they have in common will tell Jabari. And Jabari will ask Reggie about it. But Reggie will play it off or deny it. This is nothing new. And the minute Jabari said, well, I've been calling you brother, but I don't think I'm going to continue calling you brother. Here, Reggie, oh, he said I'm not his brother. He said I'm not his brother. I'm offended. Oh, my God. Now Reggie is like, oh, the people hate me. It's everybody's fault. Jason, Reggie is Nen Ma'acheru is not true of word. Ma'acheru means true of word. And indeed, the young brother who's been studying the meta nature wrote not true of speech and action. The opposite of ma'at is isifet. Nikki Willie had another word in bad mind that I don't need to read. I don't need to read out loud. You have it on the screen. I mean, man. That track field curse, man. Oh my goodness. And I've warned those people, didn't I? I don't want to act like I told you so, but damn, I've been telling those people, man, all of this because of a female cat. My goodness. The female cat to try to defeat lions. So when Michael A. wrote, Reggie wonders why he gets no donation, Happy Akhenaten added, and few views on the channel, Saturn over to him. So even with 189,000 subscribers, Happy Akhenaten says that he gets few views, and that's probably why we see Reggie on all those different channels. I mean, hey, if I have a channel with 189,000 subscribers, whether they're all active or not, just 1% of them, you can imagine what it represents. If something was interesting, the people will be there. You will not see me on all these different channels like the brother is. I mean, I will holler at the channels of the people, that I appreciate, that I support. You see me on a few other channels every now and then. When I have time, I say, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't get on the panel, I'm in the chat. But anyway, like Chris MVP Harris, for example. And I used to be on Smash Rockwell a lot. Then, there was a situation. I mean, I thought he saw that disrespectful comment towards my mother. So that's why I ended up, making a video. But, I guess it was more of a misunderstanding and everything. I really thought he had seen the comment. So I was like, man, I don't even understand at this point, But I'm glad that, Smash Rockwell came like a few days ago on my platform. You know what I'm saying? So, it's what it was. But all of this stem from the female cat energy as well. It's a dude that's a bit, like unstable. I'm trying to be diplomatic. It's unstable. He acts like he's part of the track fields team. He is actually not, apparently, from what I heard, but he wants to be on so bad. And
it is what it is, because now, even deal with OnlyFans is cool, apparently. I mean, and it's even deeper than the xenophobic statements, because it's like at one point they almost had the game on lock. Some moderators place strategically on all those conscious community platforms, and they will just censor you and block you in a heartbeat. So then people had the impression that we were dealing with some thorough scholars. But that number one blocking moderator with her red hair happens to be down with OnlyFans, and she published that herself on her own social media. So it's messy to the core, man. Even Sanetta, he came on my platform a few times, and the last time he came, he didn't even know all these people were blocked. People tell you, I was blocked. And it was a bit funny because some brother told Sanetta, I'm blocked. Sanetta said, no, you're not blocked. They said, yeah, I'm blocked. Sanetta, how look and said, oh yeah, you're blocked. Then Sanetta made lash him, addressing his moderators. I didn't listen to it, but there's only one good solution, because this lady is messing with his brand, messing with his money as well. Several people have stated they wanted to give donation. They were blocked. They could not even make donations, man, because they were blocked. Messing with his reputation and his money, all of this because of a female cat. How can we let the female cat amongst lions? In reality, you send a female cat to the jungle or wherever the lions be. Either the lions will have mercy and let the female cat leave, and it will be in the back. He will not lead, or the female cat will get destroyed, like, killed for the sake of it, or just eaten, and that's it. There's no comparison between a female cat and a lion. I mean, I don't know how we pulled this up. He might have paid them or sent some OnlyFans ladies to give favors. Now we have simp brothers. All it takes is a smile, and that's it. Even without a smile, they be tricking. We've had a lady back then who ended up in a porn movie. She did not perform, but she did put her hand on some penises, white and black. She even claimed, oh, I touched the black penis, as if it made it okay. The irony is that she had made a video criticizing video models, but here she found herself in a porn movie, even though once again she did not perform in it. She just touched a couple of penises, and she was part of the conscious movement. She had 10,000 subscribers then, which was a lot then. I'm talking about over a decade ago. We had some simp brothers. Oh, she did what she got to do. Yeah, queen, you did what you had to do. Yeah, we have some simp brothers. So if some ladies give favors to some of these brothers, and no telling what they may do. But anyway, I digress. Some brothers are such simps, man. It's just crazy. See, good Nella is a member, is a supporter of my channel. But that guy is a FBA supporter, so we don't even need to waste time with the people like that, with some weak ideology, which is not even clearly laid out. And they talk about reparations. Once again, everybody can go. I went on the website, I read everything that was on the homepage. That FBA, Foundational Black American, headed the movement headed by Tariq Nasheed, and there's nothing about reparations. Nothing about reparations. There's a narrative and there's the actions or the plan. And even if there was a plan, it's so good to lay a plan. And sometimes the people's plans are a list of demands or a list of requests. Nothing is being made in that direction. But the merchandise, oh yes, you have it. Some people have pimp juice, other people have Ogun juice. He had the paper spray Ogun juice. He did, and it's creative. You know, it's creative, and it's, I guess it's good for, sisters to have paper spray, so if they get attacked, they can defend themselves. In France, you're not even allowed to carry pepper spray. You can have it at home, but not in the street. So if they find you with it in the street, they confiscate it. But in America, at least you have that right. France is very restrictive. And even some brothers may have the pepper spray because some people are weak and they will jump you. They will attack you several against one. Just like those so-called scholars and teachers do many times. They gang up on you. They are weak by themselves. They ain't worth nothing. They ain't worth anything by themselves. And Traffic gave you the illusion like he was Thor or something. I mean, when I think that some people had the nerve to call the female cat an expert on the Bible, I was like, that's offensive towards those scholars of the Bible. It is offensive and disrespectful for all the scholars of the Bible to label the female cat an expert of the Bible. I mean, sometimes people use terms, I don't even know if they realize the implications of what they are saying. The female cat is an expert on the Bible? That's disrespectful for all the scholars that we ever had from the dawn of time. Anyway, I went through all the comments, man. You know what? Gonna open the line. Wait a few minutes. If there's nobody, wrap this up. My goodness, we have 50 people online. What time is it in New York now? It's 9 a.m. in New York. It's early. Somebody wants to get on the panel, feel free. Wait a few minutes, man. The people are spoken. They are spoken. Now, if you go on other videos, you will hear people criticizing the elder Reggie. But Reggie now is like playing the victim and acting like people hate on him. Like, man, it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Wrong is wrong, man. Wrong is wrong, man. I mean, people can tonight get away from this female cat energy. I mean, there's no obligation. So it's a choice. They are doing this to themselves. The Dagger Squad is dead. The Dagger Squad is dead. The Dagger Squad is dead. Kemet is not dead, contrary to some Dagger Squad members have said. It is the Dagger Squad that is dead, and it died officially, publicly, on December 31st, 2022. What is it, brother? Stallworth? What is it now? What question do you have? Feel free, because I have receipts for days. The Dagger Squad is dead. R.I.P. We have all witnessed the crucifixion of the female cats, of the female cat Christian apologists. We have witnessed that. Now, it was supposed to take place on December 25th. It would have been very symbolic, even for the people who are into metaphysics, but it had to be postponed. You know what? Let me just tell you something. I know some Jamaican people. One Jamaican person have said it to me, and I think he said it also publicly live on air. He told me that in Jamaica, people don't have funerals on December 25th. That's what he told me. So if you know some Jamaican, you can go and ask. But then, people are going to say, oh, he's being insensitive. Yeah. The female cat energy. They just accept claims. They don't care if people lie. They don't care if people touch on babies. Do they? Do they? The Dagger Squad is dead. It's dead. They had a good run. For a crew of weak dudes, they had a good run. Like I said, the female cat uploaded Saneda's videos, made 8-hour live streams. Yes, they stabbed themselves, they cut themselves, and they bled to death. Some people may have thought that it was actually one of Saneda's channel. The dude paid white people to attack black people. The dude made some simple calculation, There's a billion Christian. I'm gonna roll with the Christians, and he thought he could just diss the Kemetic people, followers of Kemet. All of this really because he also, the female cat, has something personal against Jabari. Hey, Harold, feel free to speak, my brother. Can you hear me, brother? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Oh, feel free to speak, brother.
Shaka, what's going on, man?
I'm here documenting the past and the present as usual.
What's that?
I'm documenting the past and the present as usual.
Okay. Yeah. First, I wanted to ask you a question. Did you started your classes already?
Yes, but actually, the classes are like individual now. At one point, I tried to do classes with groups, but it doesn't really work because sometimes people are not available and so on. So, but I've been giving classes indeed. Yes, I'm still giving classes.
Okay. How do you sign up for the if you want to take a class?
Well, for those who wonder, I'm going to put my email address in the chat. Hold on.
Okay.
So, brothers and sisters, well, you even have the Cash App and the PayPal also, but here, that's my snap. Let me delete that one. There's the B missing. So let me just delete that one. I'm not going to re-upload. Well, brothers and sisters, make sure you copy and paste the address to avoid making any mistakes. But it is BOSSSTYLYX@msn.com. There are 3 S's. So just send me an email, give me your availabilities. I know that for now I have Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 3 p.m. EST. Now, I could do 4 p.m. EST, but I prefer 3 p.m. if possible. And ultimately, we may see for the weekend as well, but I prefer during the week. So just feel free to email you or anybody else. Email your availabilities, your time slots, and then when we find a date that's convenient, then we can get this cracking. And for those who don't know, the classes are not free of charge. It's $10 per class, and it's an hour class. It can last longer, but that's on me. Because some people think it's free. They send me emails and they're like, how does it work? And I say, okay, that's how it works. Would you be free that day? They say, yeah. And I say, okay, just send the payment on PayPal up front, and please use PayPal, not Cash App for the classes. And then I don't hear from them anymore. Feel free to speak, brother.
So you said how much is it?
It's $10 per class.
Oh, okay. Well, that ain't bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's a brother, and maybe he's gonna hear me now. Hold on, just hold that thought. There's a brother who sent me a few messages, a few emails, even some comments. He wants me to do the classes for free, so I'm not replying. However, he asked me when would I do some class next, and I guess he's talking about what I did on Sanetta. And if you want me to just do it again on Sanetta, just speak with him. He did say that next time we could do a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it's up to the people. It's up to the people. But you don't have to wait for any pay-per-view. I mean, $10 per class. Some people charge $50 per class. $50 for an hour, and everybody's free to come up with their own prices. It's not the end of the world. See, our people, they have the money for the designer clothes, for the alcohol, for the drug, for the tobacco, for the clubs, for the expensive food, but when it's the information, for strange reason, they're broke. But feel free to speak, brother J. Harry.
Right. Yeah. I think it's important, man, to learn that, especially if you're interested in ancient Kemet and stuff like that. I think it's important. I mean, even with me, I mean, because I have, just based on some things that I've heard, I've had my doubts about meta nature and different things like that, but that still don't mean that you know, I wouldn't want to learn it. You know what I mean? Because I think it's good to be able to know that, and share it with others and be able to read different texts and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lovely experience, And once again, I guess some days. Ultimately, the weekend we could, but there's another thing. Sometimes, oh, it's okay. I mean, sometimes some people they register, they sign up for the classes, but then they are not here, and others they will like do some sort of package, like they will charge for trimester, trimester, or even a
Oh, okay.
semester, or even a whole year. So they will get
Yeah.
a fair bit of contribution up front. Then if the people don't make it, they don't make it. But me, if people don't make it, I don't charge them. You know what I'm saying? And,
Oh,
and
okay.
and sometimes they don't even warn you, so you wait. But usually I wait 15 minutes, and after 15 minutes, I send an email. I say, okay, well, it looks like you're busy. Next time. But things happen. Sometimes you're not available, so at least just warn me. The earlier, the better. You know what I'm saying? So I made myself available for the weekends before, and then people don't turn up when I could have been doing other things. I mean, I still have a family. I still have children, even though my son, my 8-year-old son, has been abducted by his mother and he's in Africa. I haven't seen him since August, but but I'm
Oh,
here with my
man.
daughter. So that was just in passing. I mean, it's lovely at the end of the day. I have people learning it. I'm giving classes and I'm loving it, and people could learn. People could learn. We don't see your camera. I don't know if it's on purpose, but feel free to speak, brother.
Yeah, I had clicked off for a minute. Yeah. The other question that I wanted to ask, and I guess with this question, you probably get a different answer depending on who you ask, right?
Mhm.
For a person, who's interested and wants to study, ancient Kemet, um, in your opinion, where would be like a starting point?
Oh, now the culture itself has so many books about it. Um, so many scholars wrote book about it, and actually we have lectures as well. There's a lot of lectures. A lot of PhDs have lectures about ancient Egypt.
Uh huh.
Uh, in terms of books, well, in terms of books, this one is a French version. Sekou has shown the English version. That's Theophile Benga. Let me share the link in the chat for the English version. It's
Okay.
African philosophy. So, Obenga, African philosophy. Oh, well, I prefer the other book cover. That one's like, okay, that one. But this one's no longer for sale. The other one you think is like some Moorish book or something. Okay, no,
Okay.
African philosophy. Hold on, let me go to. Hold on. But actually, I don't even think that's the one I'm after. Hold on. The Pharaonic period. So I'll put the full title because here. So. Oh, maybe they don't have it on Amazon anymore. I came across a website where they sell it.
hmm You said that's Obenga,
Yes, Dr. Theophilo Benga, the one who
right?
assisted Sheikh Anta Diop, Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop. Oh man, $137 for a new one on AB Books or AB Books. I don't know how you pronounce it. There's a used one for $60. It is obviously no longer in print, so it's one. Oh my goodness! Now hold on. Let me go to shopping. There are surely, hopefully, some cheaper ones. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. And and people's gonna buy female cat books where we have giants like that. Who was some.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I really want to share a link where it is not that cheap. Um, Africa
The
Lib.
first time I heard about Garfield's book, man, I'm gonna tell you, I think it was him and Zion. They had a little discussion, and he was talking about how uh, it was plagiarized.
Yeah, Zion Lex has made a live stream explaining that it was plagiarized. But Trackfield's master teacher is Asahi Mofek, and Asahi Mofek has plagiarized several books in several
Oh
different
man,
languages. So I'm not surprised.
yeah,
Now
you're
I
right.
found one that is like $37. So I've shared the link in the chat already, and actually it's a good name. It's called Per Ank's Book. Now the website is bbkwan.com.
Hmm.
But we can see here it says Per Ankh Books, and here is the book here. African Philosophy, the Pharaonic Period, 2780, or let's say 2780 to 330 BC by Dr. Theophilo Benga. So we can see here it is $37.50. Now I don't know this website. I hope they deliver and there's no problem,
Yeah.
But if people can buy through what's it called again, PayPal, there's a guarantee, on PayPal. If you don't receive your product, they will refund you. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
that's the cheapest that I have found doing a quick search. I will recommend that one because uh, Dr. Dr. Theophilo Benga has some degrees in linguistics as well, and he's a PhD. Doesn't have a PhD in linguistics, but he's very familiar with the meta nature,
Yeah.
and he shows the text, let's say the hieroglyphic transcript, and he translates it. Now I don't know in the English version if they went as thoroughly with the translation, but in the French version, it goes very thoroughly. I haven't finished it yet, but there's even a lecture of Dr. Theophilo Benga, actually on Asahi Mofek's channel. I've shared it before. I don't really feel like sharing it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend that people put the names of the scholars, Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Asa Eliot. I mean, back then I had a social network, the Ning, Ning, and I uploaded so many of those lectures. But unfortunately, I lost so many channels. But Dr. Asa Eliot, I think it's called the Kemetic Master Keys. Very nice
Okay.
one. Dr. Mario Beatty. Uh, yeah, there's just so many to name. There's even one. Well, that was on Blog Talk Radio. It's a professor called Ben Levi. He has lived in Saudi Arabia, so he's fluent in Arabic. He also knows the Hebrews. He's been studying the Hebrew since he was a teenager because he used to be a Hebrew Israelite. And I've used one excerpt for a video entitled "The Hebrews Exist." So
Yeah.
he's interesting. I don't know if people have re-uploaded the full thing on YouTube, but there are surely a few other books as well. But people can just start even with YouTube with lectures from scholars, and not necessarily just black scholars. You know what I'm saying? You know, but
Hmm.
there is now Pan-African James might remind us. Babylon done said the name of the person recently, but I forgot his name. Is a European PhD who's been dealing with Nubia, and he argues that the origin of the kingship of Kemet is in Nubia. So he has
Hmm.
an upcoming work about it. I think he has already published some work about it, but I've played some excerpts of his lecture, and but he is indeed a PhD also. So yeah, in a nutshell, that's what I would say. You know.
Okay. Um, have you ever heard of a guy? He's a doctor. He does a lot of stuff on Kemet too. Dr. Perry Lyles.
Oh no, I haven't heard about him. How do you spell his name, brother?
Let me see. Hold on a second, because I think I was thinking about getting his book. He has a book called Kemet 101. Um, let me see.
So Dr. Lai. Oh no, Dr. Kais. No, I never heard of him.
Dr.
Never heard of him.
Perry Kepra Cows.
Yeah, I
So
see him. Okay, Perry. No, I never heard of him. He says PhD in his name here on Amazon, so probably he has one. Because there are a lot of people who put doctor in their name. They don't necessarily put the PhD. So I'm
mhm.
not familiar with him, but uh, well, I don't know, but feel free if
Yeah,
you're interested.
because somebody sent me something last week, and I watched the lecture that he did. He's actually he did a lot of different tours and stuff going into Kemet and in the tombs and stuff like that. But he
Oh, he
did a
has a YouTube account.
presentation. Yeah, he do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well, I'm going to share his YouTube account. He has 900 subscribers, so I'm going to
Mhm.
share his YouTube account in the chat, and I might have a look and see what's good there.
Because I watched his the last video I watched. He was talking about I think he was kind of like dispelling the myth about, you know, 'cause you got some people that say that the ancient Egyptians they weren't black, and so you know he did a series on that,
Mm.
just going through
Yeah,
different you know artifacts and evidence, and you know um, some of the depictions in the tombs and different things like that.
yeah. I dealt with it as well. I have Black Ancient Egyptian Part 1 and Black Ancient Egyptian Part 2. I have
Okay.
this painting of Amenhotep III from the Louvre Museum, and
Yeah.
I have a few videos from different museums in different countries. A lot of our people are just familiar with the late period artifacts. And you know, in a sense, if you're Abrahamic, a date like 1500 BC is so remote. They usually don't have any artifacts for this kind of dates.
Mhm.
So when they see 300 BC uh, mummy or painting or statue, they feel like it's ancient. When really it's not that ancient when it comes to
Right.
this is what they call late period in ancient Egyptian history. The dynastic period starts in 3100 BC, or we can round it up to 3000 BC. You know,
Mhm.
so there's many videos of people who made compilation of different artifacts, and indeed those people are white skin or of Caucasoid stock, but those are the Greeks.
Yeah. That's
You
that's
know,
the deceptive part about it. Like, you know, I mean, I've been watching a lot of different scholars. You know, like Jabari. I've watched some of your stuff. You know, even Reggie. Like, and I've seen enough to know that these were definitely black people. And then, of course, we got to understand too. Like, you know, they had different invasions. We know the Greeks came in and, you know, many different invasions. So, you know,
yeah.
and they took over at one point in time. So, like, yeah, they did have some that were white, but they weren't the original. These were invaders.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the Greeks came around 400 BC.
Mhm.
After the Greeks, the Romans came around 50 BC. Then after that, the Muslims came around 600 BC. Sorry, BC, AD,
Right. Right.
7th century AD. You know, so for 1,000 years we had foreigners getting into the land, and sometimes they will show either the Greeks in BC time or they will show um Egyptians or Copts in AD time, like first century and so on, you know. But
Yeah.
after hundreds of years of foreign people ruling, it's no surprise. It's like me showing Australia. I show the people of the government and I say, okay, that's how the Australians look like back in the day. No, we have Aboriginal people. We see what they look
Right.
like.
Right.
It's that simple. But, you know, Chief X is of the opinion that they were Caucasoids
Mhm.
or
Yep.
Caucasian and that the modern Egyptians are the ancient Egyptians. I think Chief X is just doing that, you know, to get some play. And maybe Chief X had some disagreement with some Kemetic person or follower of Kemet, and then you know his reaction is to just go at it like that, you know, because Chief X was rolling with Sandy back then. You know what I'm saying? Actually, Chief X said recently he's the God best reincarnated. So I think he's like it has
Yeah.
mixed feelings, mixed emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I spoke to Chief X when I showed him that depiction. He said, "Well, you know, if you can show me 10 like that." Well, first he just said, "Well, you think this is hair?" I never talked about the hair. He's focused on the hair, and he said, "If you can show me 10 like that, then we'll talk." And I showed him way more than 10. The Theban Mapping Project. People can look it up. Sorry, Theban Mapping Project.
Mhm.
Those are basically pictures from the tombs of Kemet. Not all the tombs, of course, but from the King Valley, Valley of the King.
Mhm.
Whenever you see some reference that says KV, it stands for King Valley, you know.
Mhm.
So people can go on the tomb of Ramesses the third, you know, where we have what we know what is known as the Book of the Heavenly Cow. I mean, I made a video about that, and we show so many depictions. They are clearly black. They are clearly black skin. But Chief X, he has some North Africans, he has some Egyptians, who are capping for him, and they label us Egyptomaniacs and Afrocentric. It's the same old thing. But for the most part, they are anonymous and not identified. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the sad thing is that Asahim Fake and Ujau, they both stated that the ancient Egyptians were not black. And the reason they stated that is because of their claim that Kemet means riparian land or riparian country. So they even changed the meaning of the word Kem. And Simon Fake even went as far as saying that Diop was wrong and that Diop guessed and that Diop was irresponsible, which is crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
But yeah, that's how sad it is. They say that the ancient Egyptians were not black.
Yeah,
But once again,
I never thought I'd hear.
I never thought I would hear that, but Ujao, I have respect for him because we spoke for 3 hours. He did the best he could, but it was more or less cordial, so I respect him. But Ujao comes from a Moorish background with the Nubians because it's a Nubian nation of Moors, so Nubian United Nation of Moors. So in a sense, it's not surprising when he spent years in a Moorish organization that you will say, okay, this person was not black. You know what I'm saying? So once again, we have the visual evidence, and also what Chief X and people like Ngozi like to do is to talk about the DNA. I'm like, okay, well, you can talk about the DNA all you want, If I see Tyrese or I see Ludacris, I don't need no DNA to know that they are black people. So if I see Amenhotep III, one of the greatest ruler of ancient Egypt, one of the most powerful ruler of ancient Egypt, who is Akhenaten's father and King Tut's father, I don't need any DNA to know if he's a black person or not. And even King Tut, Tutankhamun, we have depictions of him from the tomb. And I'm talking paintings because now we can no longer use statues. When we use statues, say, oh, no, you can't tell. So we have plenty of paintings of King Tut, and he's clearly depicted as, black skin, So it is true that the field of Egyptology do not teach that the ancient Egyptians were black. There are reasons for that, but they like to talk about the 25th dynasty. They say, oh, those are the black pharaohs, but this is something wrong, and I stand firm on that, and I have the visual evidence. So instead of having anonymous unidentified people in the comments is going to disrespect black scholars, feel free to holler at Egyptologists and tell them, look, there's this guy here, Ma'af forever, or Shakandugu Kemet. He claims that the ancient Egyptians are black, and he says that he has visual evidence. Can you just refute him and let's have a laugh? We're gonna have a laugh.
Yeah. When you when you look at them and because we all know, I mean, for the most part, we can pretty much look at different people and we can identify, them depending on whether they're black, white, or whatever. We know we have different phenotypes, different things that we can identify people with. But when you use that method, they call that lookership.
I'm glad you said that. They used to say that with the statues. So I'm like, okay, I see where they're going. I'm showing paintings. Now, if they want to say that this is lookership here, then there's no reason to continue talking. Because amazingly, when we show the depictions of Asiatics, Hyksos, Hekakasut, Hekakaset, as clearly white skin, then they want to dispute it. They want to say, oh, but look, it has a little tan and stuff like that. So they're trying to use us to say that we have black Canaanites or black Hebrews and so on. But then when we clearly see those, I mean, it's all over the place. And you see, Jason is asking, did you see the new discovery of Old Kingdom artifacts? Yeah, I've seen that. And in some of the statues that Zahir is uncovering, we can even see what is very common is the color fading away, the red ochre, or okra, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, fading away. I've shown in museums, see some people, they will show, and those guys who like to show the late period artifacts of the Greeks to argue that it was a white-skinned civilization or Mediterranean / Asiatic civilization, because some people place Egypt in Asia. I don't know how they do that, but they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they will show old kingdom, or let's say older artifacts, and it will be the state statues who appear to be white, but on some of the statues we can see the remnants of the coloring, which
Right.
was initially dark brown coloring slash black coloring, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes it looks reddish, because the red ochre was used mainly. Now there's one artifact that is ancient, and he doesn't really look white. He's like reddish. He kind of looks Asiatic. I think he has blue eyes. It is a genuine artifact, which is in the Louvre Museum, and it has always been an enigma to me. Now I don't know if maybe the coloring was darker before. So that
Mm-hmm.
one that seated scribe, yes, that one is genuine. But besides that, we have so many others, and even on statues, we can see the shape of the lips and the nose at time, but we can
Yeah.
no longer use statues. So some people can say leadership, but at one point, people have ideology, which means that their stance is the ancient Egyptians were white skinned, they were not black. No matter what you present, no matter if you show linguistically the relationship with the different African languages, like Dr. Theophile Obenga has done on Onk Online, and I'll share the PDF. If you go on my channel and you type in West Africa's relationship with Kemet,
Mm-hmm.
the PDF we show. So linguistically, we can see it. In terms of culture, we can see it in so many ways. And in terms of visual evidence, we can see it. So no matter what you show, all they will say, oh, that's Lukaship. Oh, those guys are blackologists. Oh, those guys are Afrocentric. So it's a lost cause with those people. The same people who tell us that
Right.
the sea parted in twos and people walking between it. The same people who are looking for the pharaoh of the Exodus, and the Exodus scholars in the world are in agreement, because those people are sleep talking about historical consensus for Jesus Christ, but the founding myth of the Hebrew, the people who Jesus descended from, is a myth. It never happened in history. So we have a mythical event, the foundation of
Mm-hmm.
the chosen people of Yahweh slash El slash Elohim slash Adonai slash what have you. It's a myth, and they're looking for who was the pharaoh of the Exodus. Basically, another term they're saying, who was the king of the myth. But then they want to say, oh, that's Lucaship, you know?
Right.
And I mean, we should come with new nicknames for those people. They're doing mythship, myth
Oh yeah.
scholarship, you know?
Most definitely.
I mean, it's just crazy at this point. And that's why when Dr. Shekanta Diop and Dr. Theophilo Benga went against all those scholars, they put a smackdown on them, you know? So I'm in the field now. I don't know how far we'll go. Sometimes I'm not really encouraged to go far, because I'm like, man, there's no support. Then people love pseudos. They love liars. They love
Yeah.
plagiarists, and they even love rapists and pedophiles. But I see where it goes. I try to do my best, but we do have the visual evidence. I don't care if they say Lucaship. Even when I asked Ngozi, I asked him, because he talked about people from Kemet being Caucasoids. So I said, okay,
Yeah.
what?
I was
Yeah, you see
listening to
that?
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I asked him, okay, does this one look Caucasoid? He said, yeah, but he said, oh yeah, he looks East African. I said, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, does he look Caucasoid? He said, yes, but he laughed. He laughed because he knew it doesn't make sense. He knows what he's saying is just funny. He sounds funny. He knows. So I'm not even tripping on
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I mean, a lot of people are pointed at because of his Islamic religion, he's a bit all over the place, you know. And even linguistically, we've heard the brother Kamji verse put a smackdown on Ngozi and Onk. We got in the what is it called again? Um, uh, they used to call it Hamito-Semitic, Afro-Asiatic,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So there's a lot of ideology going on, you know, a lot of ideology going on. Those people just have a premise, and they want to defend their premise by all costs. Now I see you shared a video with me.
Yeah, I shared that. What I did, I was on a channel the other day, and I seen they had a playlist for Reggie, right? And I said, let me go and check this out, see what he's talking about, because you know, all of this stuff that what Reggie's doing now, as far as trying to go against Kemet and Jabari and all this stuff is, for the most part, at least for him coming out with it, it's fairly new. Like, he didn't always try to teach and push this stuff. But anyway, when Jabari, when they led up to the debate, they were saying that was Christianity stolen from ancient Kemet? you know, Reggie, of course, he says no, it's not, right? And so, I was watching that video and I was sitting there listening, and he said something that turned the light on. I'm like, wait a minute. I knew he didn't always think like that, but he told it in that video. And I made a clip of it, and I said the next time I was on with you, I was going to share it with you so you can see it.
Do you have the actual timestamp that you want me to
Oh,
play?
yeah. It's the video is a clip. What I share
what?
you is a clip.
No, what you shared is actually an hour long, but it starts at 18 minutes 51. So I don't know, but
Yeah, I shared a clip. Let me see. I'll get the timestamp for you. Hold on a second.
yeah.
Because what I did is, how you can make little clips?
But let me
That's
show you the
what I
one that
did.
you shared to me.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to refresh that. I'm putting, let me- no. There it is. So the link you shared to me is that one there. And when I go to that link, that one, the one you sent, of course, in the private chat, that's what it is. And that video is an hour and 11 minutes long.
I think it's already at that at the part where
Well,
where I
let's try
put
it.
it at.
Let's try it. So here,
Okay.
the timestamp is 1851. So let's listen up.
That was stolen from the Egyptian mystery system. It is all of European concepts. I'm not going to read into most of this because you should purchase the book and read it, but I want to talk about the concept. It is not only Greek philosophy that was stolen from the Egyptian mystery system. It is all of European concepts was stolen from the Egyptian mystery system, or stolen from the African system that contained the Egyptian mystery system contained the African system, and that all of what we think about today is the offspring of Africans and who we are. And so some of these concepts is that the earliest theory of salvation is the Egyptian theory. The Egyptian mystery system had as its most important object the deification of man, and taught that the soul of man, if liberated from his body fetters, can enable him to become godlike and see the gods in this life and attain the beatific vision and whole communion with the immortals. And he got that from the European, George Jim James got it from the European masters of that time. And he got it from C.H. Vail. My point is that the concept of how to think was born in Africa. And when we say Egyptian, we mean the African theory of salvation became the purpose of Greek philosophy. And then George M. James goes on and talks about the European levels of education, of liberal arts, all the disciplines.
Yeah, brother, you wanted to add on?
Yeah, you can stop it. The clip was only 30 seconds, but I guess for some reason it kept playing. But did you hear what he said?
Well, I was hoping he would touch on religion. He talked about philosophy and so on, but
Right.
here on this slide I see he talk about God, so I'm curious. I don't mind listening to it a little bit more, because he might end up cutting himself, but that was 2 years ago, But him saying now, like he has in the last few months, that Christianity was not stolen from Kemet. It's just no matter what Jabari says, he's gonna disagree with it. That's his mode
Hmm.
right now, you know.
Oh yeah.
So Jabari can say all the most accurate stuff in the world. Reggie's gonna try to look for some way to go against it. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, it has become very pitiful. But let me just listen. You know, we never know. We might have some jewels coming up. Let me just play.
Right.
It's all of the things that we attribute to Greeks and other people are African concepts. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of that today, a lot of about that today, in a way that I don't think that many of you have ever encountered. And the only way that you would have been able to counter it if you actually sat at the feet of a Dr. John Henry Clark or Dr. Ben when they were just pondering, not when they were actually teaching, but when they was talking amongst themselves. Then you would see how their thoughts ran away. Their prepared lectures is a different thing than Dr. John Henry Clark and Dr. on about. Okay. Became the purpose of Greek philosophy. I'm not going to read into.
All right. Well, don't want to go through the whole lecture, but I mean, hey man. I mean,
I just wanted to I
hold on,
wanted to share that with you.
Jeheru,
Okay,
by any
go
chance,
ahead.
did you see when Jabari was on my platform the last time?
Yeah.
And actually, that's the first time he was there as a guest. Now Reggie
Uh-huh.
came on, and Jabari showed Reggie's own slide who talked about the mythical. I think the word was mythical or
Yeah.
magical birth,
Right.
which kills Reggie's argument that there was indeed sexual intercourse.
Right.
You
Right.
know, so Reggie, unfortunately, his hate has blinded him so much. He's been taking L's after L's, and
Yeah.
now everybody's telling him, "Look, man, that's not a good look." But he's a bit stubborn in his ways. But hold that thought, Jeheru.
Mhm.
Um, Afimi Wonaun. Feel free to speak, brother.
What's going on?
Or let me just say, LAS. I saw your comment on my video of Garfield when he came on my platform. You said that he's trying to get on the live stream, but he can't. I've shared the link to the live stream, so feel free to join us. You just need to show your face. That's the only requirement. So, Afimi Wonaun, feel free to speak, brother.
No, I'm just listening to y'all, man. Go ahead.
All right. Well, Jeheru, feel free. And greetings to good fella Nella who's joined us in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was saying, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, man, because it was funny, all this time now, all of a sudden now, oh, it's not stolen, and even like you said, he didn't say religion, but he said all
Yes.
concepts,
Yes.
all concepts. And
Yes.
I was listening. I said, "Oh, wait a minute."
Oh man,
See, hopefully when I get a chance, when he back on Sinetta, hopefully I can get on there because I want to share that.
If you can share that, man, he's gonna be uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, because we know this ain't the Reggie that we've been knowing for all these years.
He has changed, like all
Yeah.
has changed, and some people change for the better, some people change for the worse. But I have to say that's the female energy. He was contaminated by track field, you know, and anything that track field touches collapses, Even the
Yeah.
Christian apologists, I'm sure they don't want to run with track field no more. You know, they used to come on this platform, but now that they've heard the dude claim that he received a couple of $1 million, now that they see that he said live on the air that he had a bachelor's degree in history, but yet he's charging $1,800 to show his degree, and when they must have seen how we backed down for the debate and came up with a sting operation, I'm sure they ain't gonna be getting on this platform. He said he would get Richard Carrier, Dr. Richard Carrier, and Dr. Buddy Ehrman on the same day on this platform because Buddy Ehrman, he doesn't want to have discussion with Richard Carrier because Richard Carrier is a bit blunt. He uses profanity sometimes in his
Mhm.
writing, not just speaking. and he has when he addressed Badi Ehrman. When Badi Ehrman released his book, Did Jesus Exist? Dr. Carrier wrote a rebuttal, and it was vicious, So Badi Ehrman is also, oh, no, I'm not going to debate him. He's too blunt. And that's his right and his choice. He has the right to choose who he wants to debate with. So Trackfield said he's going to have them on, but of course he won't put them both at the same time. And he said it's going to be like a classic, or it's going to make history or whatever. But I'm sure that they don't want to holler at him, even no matter how much money he offers them, because he has already admitted that he paid Dr. Rishikari to go against Jabari. And the funny thing is that Jabari said that he wants that smoke. Jabari said that his people contacted Dr. Rishikari. They even spoke. And he wants to debate. He wanted to debate Dr. Rishikari. Now we didn't hear Rishikari anymore. It's like all those people who talk smack about Dr. Sheikanta Diop. When Diop was alive, they were very quiet. But when Diop died, now they want to act like he's pseudo. But Dr. Theophilo Benga is still alive. So if they want to holler, they have somebody that they can holler at. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, who else? Professor Griff. I've played Professor Griff talking smack about John Henry Clark. Yeah. And he had plenty of time to address John Henry Clark, but he waited for John Henry Clark to die and act like, oh, I never had a chance, but now I can talk to the people who follow him. And he was so disrespectful towards John Henry Clark. It's crazy, but this is what the Asiatic black man teaching do. As a matter of fact, I've played it before. I might still have it on my archive, but Professor Griff was on Tariq Nasheed podcast. He was being interviewed by Tariq Nasheed, the FBA frontman. And Tariq Nasheed asked him about when he was kicked out of the group. And if I remember correctly, Tariq Nasheed said, well, I remember back then, there was a movie, Malcolm X, but Spike Lee and all that. And he said, well, people want, they put you out of the group because, and then he said, F Spike Lee. And I'm saying F because I don't want to use a profanity. And then he said, and Tariq Nasheed says, and he said, F him. And Tariq Nasheed says, oh, it's like that? He said, yeah. Don't you think my life is more important than a movie? Then Tariq Nasheed doesn't say anything. Then Professor Griff says, that was a question. So wow. We have Professor Griff who was kicked out of the group. And I think Tariq Nasheed even mentioned Chuck D, because Chuck D was the leader of the group. Chuck D made the decision to kick Professor Griff out of the group. So instead of saying F the one who kicks him out of the group, he says F Spike Lee. Spike Lee had no decision in him being, and that's the Asiatic black man mentality. Man, those guys are so delusional, and they have no logic. They are zealots. How are you gonna say F Spike Lee like Spike Lee is the one who kicked him out of the group?
Right.
But then when D.L. Hewley, the comedian who was in the original Kings of Comedy, when he said, addressing Professor Griff, because Professor Griff had Nick Cannon in trouble as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then D.L. Hewley commented on DJ Vlad, I think, and he said the steak is not worth the sizzle. So he was being diplomatic. And I've played Professor Griff basically almost saying like he wants to put hand on D.L. Hewley. Like, man, please. Man, please.
Oh, man.
I mean, and I know some people like Professor Griff because he made all these whack accusations towards these entertainers.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. What's the lady's singer? The single lady's name. Jennifer Hudson. Implying that the family members that they lost was some form of sacrifice, and because so many black people love metaphysics and all these claims that can never be proven, and because of him introducing himself as Professor Griff of Public Enemy, or Professor Griff from Public Enemy, but he's a reject. He was rejected from the group. You know what I'm saying? Now, no, I don't mean to be horrible. He has played a contribution in the music history. He was once part of the group. He was known as the Minister of Information. That is true. But the dude was rejected, and like decades later, he still run around saying, I'm Griff from Public Enemy, and he has a right to. But don't say F Spike Lee when Spike Lee did not kick you out of the group. Chuck D kicked him out of the group. But Chuck D is an Asiatic black man. Chuck D was at least at one point a member of the NOI. I've seen a picture of Chuck D in a uniform. You see? So those guys, they will kill NOI members, disrespect, threaten non-NOI members, but they will not say anything about an NOI member teaching that black people are cursed, marked, and disfigured. And I mean, it's just, I mean, it's pitiful, man. Sometimes it's like there's some things you will never understand, man. It's just some things you just will never understand. But I'll leave it there, man. You know, they're gonna say, "Oh, you hating on Professor Griff too." Professor Griff spoke smack about John Henry Clark, and I have the tape, and I've played it recently. We have the elder James Powell in the place to be. He started saying, "I don't consider myself an African." So what we hearing with Reggie and Tariq Nasheed, way before Tariq Nasheed had the FBA, Professor Griff was already, you know, I don't want to say on the FBA vibe, but these statements, and even before Professor Griff, I've played Farrakhan, who said, "You are not to follow the stars of Africa." And before Farrakhan said it, Elijah Muhammad said it. So these sentiments go all the way back to the 1930s, you see?
Yeah.
But Professor Griff said, "I don't consider myself an African. Africa is a landmass. It's a European term. Before, you know, the whole earth was called Asia. Asia is a European term." I mean, it's just so ridiculous. Those guys have no knowledge. That's why I say the Asiatic
That's
black
silly,
man, the nation of Islam, they are not even in the conscious community discussions, because they have no knowledge. They're into that big head scientists that created a white man, and they believe in the mother wheel mothership with the baby bombers, and the end of the world was supposed to be 1914, then it was extended to 1919, and now they are decades late. Elijah Muhammad made wrong predictions, and they know that their knowledge, so-called knowledge or information or supremism, is not right in exact contrary to what they have claimed. We have Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD, who, well, Goodfellow Nella wrote, "Grief turned his back on the Honorable Khalid." Professor Grief went, and I think, I don't know if it was DJ Vlad, but he talked about Khalid, like Khalid wasn't on code or something like that. I mean, how can you say something like that? Now, when Farrakhan said Khalid was abused as a child, is that being on code? Those guys are groupies. They are grown men groupies. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was, there were only three national secretaries, national representatives of the Nation of Islam, to my knowledge. Now, the first that I know of is Malcolm X. The second that I know of is Louis Farrakhan. And the third that I know of is Khalid Abdul Muhammad. He had a high position. He was a bodyguard for Farrakhan. He did so much for Farrakhan. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was to Farrakhan what Malcolm X was to Elijah Muhammad. In terms of speech, Malcolm X was way more captivating than Elijah Muhammad. Just like Khalid Abdul Muhammad was way more captivating than Louis Farrakhan. There are those grown men groupies that are acting like Farrakhan is doing great speeches because they are groupies. Farrakhan told them to their face that they are ugly and they are clapping like groupies. But Khalid Abdul Muhammad, it was something else. And just the Donahue episode shows it. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was quoted and also appeared on a lot of rappers' songs. You know, Ice Cube, Public Enemy, and so on. You know, so somehow, some way, it's obvious that Farrakhan was jealous, and he used the opportunity to silence him after he spoke about Jewish people. And when he silenced him, he said, "Well, though we agree with the truth," he said, "we disagree in the manner in which he said it." You know. So at one point there is a tape of Khalid. He went off and he said a thing or two about Farrakhan, but he still called him his spiritual father. He was still respectful in his disagreement, but because those guys are groupies, you cannot just criticize one bit. You know, the same guy who told them that they are mocked, ugly, and disfigured, they don't have no criticism for. This is a cult-like behavior, cult following, you know, and it's just horrible. So indeed, Professor Griff was commenting on that, and nothing that Khalid Abdul Muhammad was wrong, that he wasn't on code. I mean, the guy was shot by one former Nation of Islam member, because when they do something, they're always former members. They're never current members. But it's a former member of the Nation of Islam who shot Khalid in the stomach. You know what I'm saying? The dude is silenced. Then he doesn't even know if he's a member anymore. Like I said in that interview when he was in England, he looks so sad. He's like, he doesn't even know if he's still a member. So he went his way, he did with, you know, the new Black Panther Party and so on. You know what I'm saying? He even disrespected Malik Zulu Shabazz in front of everybody because they did that Million Moors movement, as if the Million, like doing a march using Million is like a copyright thing. You know what I'm saying? So Khalid Abdul Muhammad spoke out. He got $5 million for Farrakhan from Gaddafi, and that's the thanks he got. To the point where Farrakhan
Wow.
spoke about Khalid after he died and talk about him acting the way he was a front to have another side, a feminine side almost. He said that.
Wow.
This is on tape. If people want to challenge me, then I can look it up, and I might have saved it anyway. And then he's gonna say also he met a woman who told him that Khalid was abused as a child. He also said that Malcolm X had a problem with women. So now, did Professor Griff say that Farrakhan was not on code? Those guys are grown man groupies, and I don't have anything against Professor Griff personally, you know. But for the statements that he made towards Khalid and towards Spike Lee, um, he's just being a group, and towards John Henry Clark, he's just being a grown man groupie. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's ridiculous, man. Almost acting like he's ready to do physical harm to D.L. Hughley for saying the steak is not worth the sizzle, but the guy who kicked you out of the group, you don't have that smoke. The guy who tells you that you are marked, disfigured, and ugly, you don't have no smoke. He's weak. To me, he's weak.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. But people like him because he was a minister of information. So they feel like he was a real one who was kicking that knowledge, and he was kicking so much knowledge, which is just Jew hate. And then he was kicked out of the group, and like he's some sort of hero or something. And then when he tried to, you know what I'm saying, go on Nick Cannon, and would not even, you know, have the young brother Nick Cannon being careful, he let him say those things, and then Nick Cannon had to apologize.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just ridiculous, man. These guys, it just kills me, man. But we have grown men groupies like we see today. We have a female cat coming out of nowhere, and the dude was a Christian apologist, and he thought he would mop the floor with Jabari. And then he did not show up. He obviously lied about his degree. He obviously lied about being a millionaire. But the real deal is that those people hate followers of Kemet. Those people, actually, many of them hate Africa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because
I
we're
agree.
pushing for African science, they don't like it. But Asia, they love it. Whether it's the Christians, because Jerusalem is in Asia, whether it's the Muslims, because Arabia is in Asia, and of course the Hebrew Israelites, because their holy land is in Asia. And in the teaching of the Nation of Islam that they learn by heart, and even the NGE, the 5%ers, it says that Arabia is the best part of the planet Earth. And that's full of desert, by the way. I'm not aware of natural resources, of course, except the petrol. They have plenty, but it's going to run out someday. And they know that. That's why they're doing a lot of endeavors for tourism and buying a lot of places in the West. And he also says that the only holy spot is Mecca. That's their teaching. So the reality is that they have a hate and disdain for Africa. You know, we've heard Farrakhan saying that natural hair is a disease carrier or disease catcher. But feel free, brother. Afimi Wanau.
Now, I was just going to say, I call them the ABA League. Whether you're talking about Asia or Atlantis beneath the ocean or the planet/spaceship Nibiru, anywhere but Africa, as long as it's anywhere but Africa.
Yeah, those guys, man. I mean, you know,
Bad, man.
like just a few days ago, 2 days ago, I think it was, by the brother, you know, he's trying, you know, he doesn't seem that young, but he said that Abraham's mother was Cushitic. That's the things that we have to deal with. They're so willing to put black people in the mix of these stories.
Yeah, man.
That they will make stuff up on the fly. And then they would accuse us of being pseudos. He said more than once that we have to be mature. How is it mature when you say that Abraham's mother was Cushitic? I mean, I'm 40 years old. I've been online for 18 years. I never heard somebody say such a thing. So Chef said, we're going to have a world premiere. And when it was time to show and prove, the brother disappeared, never came back. Sometimes his connection will be off, he will come back. This time he never came back. And now it's on tape. Now, when it comes to Farrakhan, it's not something that he made up. This is Elijah Muhammad's teachings. They're teaching that Africans are living a jungle life. And Reggie defends that, defends the NOR. When it comes to Malcolm X, I spoke to him about that on my channel. He was making excuses. When I spoke about Karenga, he was making excuses. He even tried to defend. I mean, the guy who touched on babies, Reggie's not criticizing, but he's gonna go crazy at Sekou. It's the end of the world. Oh man, I'm gonna stop, man. I'm gonna stop. Oh man.
Wow. What has that community turned into, man?
Yeah, that's and, you know, back then you had Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Chancellor Williams, Asa Hilliard, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Shekonta Diop, Dr. Theophilo Benga is still alive. You know, Onk Mira, Rikedi Amen, you know, and so many others. You know, Dr. Amos Wilson, you know. There's a one, I think it's Bobby Wright, Dr. Bobby Wright. I think he was some psychiatrist, some psychologist. So not a lot of people talk about him because he was a bit more hardcore, you know. Laila Africa, you know. We have people like that. Now we have female cat Trackfield and them and all the people making, you know, crazy. I mean, Dr. West Muhammad said that milk is the food of the gods. Dr. West Muhammad said that milk is liquid sunlight.
Yeah, I remember watching that. I used to follow Wesley Muhammad, man, and you know, up until a certain point, I remember that. Yeah.
Milk is liquid sunlight. Milk is the food of the gods.
You
How
know,
many people said that he was pseudo?
when I hear stuff like that, or the Farrakhan clip where he's, you know, talking about how your hair was originally straight and you know your nose was thinner, your lips was thinner, and whatnot. Anytime I hear it, immediately in my head, I hear that old song that they used to sing in church. Had black folks singing it in church on Sundays. Whiter than snow, whiter than snow. Wash me and make me whiter than snow.
Gotta do it again with this here. So what the lyrics is, watch me and turn me whiter than snow, is it?
Wash me and make, wash me because I'm dirty.
And make me.
Wash
so
me and
I'm gonna
make
sing it with you, brother.
Whiter
than snow. Whiter than snow. Watch me and make me whiter than snow. And the Pharisee says, Amen. This is the God of the nation of Islam. Far Muhammad, the Indian dude, the white dude, and they claim black power.
Yeah, I ain't no way.
Oh man.
That's what turned me away from the NOI. I used to follow them until I found out who they were, because I used to always hear about Elijah Muhammad, but I didn't know who he was. When I seen him, I said, "Oh no, ain't no way."
You mean Far Muhammad?
Yeah,
that's Far Muhammad here. You know, he's the one who taught Elijah Muhammad. Now you see, Godfella and Nella wrote them. They sing that in church. They do sing that in church, brother.
Oh yeah, we sung at my church I used to go to. Oh yeah.
I haven't been to a church since I was a kid, so I don't know if they still do it. But when I went to church and before my time as well, they sung that song, man.
And in the Bible, I think it's Apocalypse. I'm sorry, in French we call it Apocalypse. In English you call it Revelations. It says his hair and his head were white as snow.
Man.
But yet they try to say that according to the scriptures, we have a description of Jesus being black. This is the things that those people rolled with for all those years, having black folks thinking that, you know, this is our story.
Yep.
The same Bible where it says head and hair, white as snow.
Yep.
When we look at the artifact, when we look at the evidence, Beni Hassan's painting, Canaanites, white skin. Then some people say, no, those were not Hebrews. Hebrews came later. Okay, the Hebrews, Abraham comes from Ur. We have the standard of Ur. In the British Museum, we see how they depicted themselves. Clearly white skin, Caucasoid. But that's not enough. Then they want to do linguistic gymnastics. And then they want to say Abraham's mother was Cushitic. And that's what I've heard for all those years. For all those years, I've heard all these what claims. You know?
Whenever
And
I've had
feel free,
debates,
brother.
whenever I've had debates with the people coming from religious texts, basically, I tell them if we're having a historical debate, you can't use religious texts. Period. If you're not, because you don't need religious texts to prove anything about Kemet. There's a bunch of archaeological evidence, like it stands on its own veracity. I don't need to go into the Bible to prove the existence of Egypt, ancient Egypt. It's like if I'm asking you to, prove the existence of Spider-Man, you can't use the comic. Simple as that.
But I give them more leeway. I tell them use whatever text you want, but just tell us the date of the text. So when they will use some biblical text, it will be up to the time their Bible was printed or up to the latest surviving copy of the text. Those texts are not during the time period. And once again, we beating around the bush because the founding myth of the Hebrews is the Exodus story, and historians, many, if not most of them, will say that the Exodus narrative is a myth. It is folklore. It did not happen. There's no evidence that it happened. But we have people like Zion Lex doing live stream explaining how it happened. Like what's going on. Besides, those Hebrew Israelites, they love to quote many scholars to break down their narratives. How many PhD say that the Hebrews were black? So I don't know how long this will go on for, and I can understand. See, there's some people I understand because they've been in those things for a long time. And it takes time for you to get out of something, It's like bad habits. It's difficult to lose bad habits. But we claim to be doing scholarship, and those guys, man, and on top of that, besides their belief, their theology, when we look at our Hebrew Israelites, like teenager Yara, who have no decorum, they are old, but they don't have no wisdom, disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? Calling me a croissant, saying he's slammed me back to France or wherever I came from.
They call you a croissant?
Yeah, teenager Yara did. He did.
The food?
Yes, the pastry. And the funny thing is that when I was on live on Chris MVP Harris, I couldn't hear all these ad hominems he was using. So I made a video, is Yara a fool? People came up and the majority of people said that he was a fool. The only luck is that they are on Senator Studios platform, which is a large platform. Otherwise, people will not give them the time of the day, So at least the good thing is that Jabari is the MVP of the HOK or House of Consciousness, And for all this time, people were always one way or another pushing us towards those Asiatic belief system, And I'm glad now that Jabari is doing a great job. Now somebody's hating, we know who, but it is what it is. It comes to the territory. And we have people learning the meta nature now. Now people are respecting us a bit more than back then, because back then, man, dang. I've played Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD. He said, throw Kemet in the garbage, can't throw my out in the trash, can't throw Amen rather slay making God away. And that's why I went at him. To me, like that was too much.
Yeah, some that who was it? I think it was George Foreman. Whenever he would be a commentator for a boxing match that is going on or whatever, whenever a fighter would hit the other fighter, and the fighter who just got hit would smile, George would be like, "That just hurt him."
Yeah,
that's how you know you got hurt, because the smile.
Yeah,
and how I know in debates that folks are hurt is when they start name calling.
Yeah.
So I take pleasure in it. The more names you call me, croissant,
Yeah.
jerk chicken,
They
whatever.
hurt. They hurt. I mean, teenager Yara was so hurt when I went on Sign at the Studios as a guest. He was asking about the slavery in Kemet. Was there slavery in Kemet? I said, I'm not aware of that. Please show me. He never showed Jack. And he was acting like, oh, that's elementary. That lets me know, your level, blah, blah. He just ran. This guy, I've never seen him showing any artifact in my life. Now, I'm not saying he never did, but I heard him talk. I heard him quoting the Bible. Now, I've shown the Ugaritic text, which says that El got so drunk that he fell in his own feces and urine. He didn't want me to read that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those guys, they're laughable to me, man. They're laughable, for real, man. They don't show any artifacts. What's his name? The Moorish brother. He used to go by the Sheikh Way El. Lord Abba. He tried to show some black Moorish rulers, and he was funny. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day, those guys, and sometimes they feel like we are bullies. Like when we ask them for records, they feel like it's something wrong. So when I was on Chris MVP's channel, y'all was like, yeah, you guys, you always asking for stuff, but yeah, why not? You guys talking history, where are the records? They're not used to that. They're used to reading from the Bible and everything is okay. It's a new day. It's a new day. That time the Hebrew Israelites were really hurt. But hurt. Now we have the sister, and now I don't want to say too much because she's Saneda's lady. But she started talking about human rights violation in Kemet. People are capping for the invaders. Human right violation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how sick we are becoming in the mind. And I say we. I don't mean her personally. Now we're crying for the invaders. There's war. If I make you do forced labor, then that is human rights violation. We have people working in prisons. They're doing labor. Who's speaking out for them, talking about human rights violation? Since when do we cry about the invaders for being punished? Then I heard about branding of the slaves. I've seen a Smash Rockwell uploaded a video. He made a live stream actually, and he said the branding of the slaves is a lie. I didn't see that live stream, but he's there. Smash Rockwell, you know the address, just like he spells. Smash, SMASH space Rockwell, ROCKWELL. He's also known as Jonathan Owens, the Magi Archer. He even has a book out. So those guys are desperate. They are trying everything. She would not even show any records. She would not even name any records. She gave the name of another, and that's it. So those guys, they're clicking. They're not scholarly at all, and it's a shame. And then they end up making stuff up or calling names. I mean, they should thank Sanetta every day that he's letting them on his platform, because when they will not be on his platform, that's it. We won't hear about them no more. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's not his lady anymore. He said she stole the money of the Garfield Jabari debate. Oh, when did he say that? I didn't hear that. Please direct that to me. That was said publicly. I didn't look for it,
I just saw a comment briefly right before that one that said she's now with Killer Priest.
Yeah,
Killer
it's
Pepper?
here. It's here. Now, Goodfella, this is an exclusive right now. This is an exclusive. Goodfella Nella, please tell me which video, if possible, the time. We're learning something now. And I hope I'm not responsible for that, because
I'm gonna see if I can find that. I heard that too, though. It was a video. She went on Killer Priest podcast, and Sonetta put a comment. It was his page, because it said Sonetta Studios and it had his picture up there, and it said she stole the money. Yeah, I seen that.
And when I was in Sonetta Studios the first time as a guest, the next day I went as a guest again, and right from the start, Sonetta said Garfield is not answering his calls. Even when Garfield didn't show up, Sonetta said that's because I invited Shaka. That's why I did that. Now, I've seen on Uncle Shirk video. I don't know what SUG stands for, but brothers and sisters, feel free to leave me something in the comments. One sec, brother. Yeah, feel free. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. And she was clearly rolling for the Hebrew Israelites. I didn't even say at one point, you used to be Hebrew Israelite. She acted like I did something wrong. She said, oh, he's talking about this. I never talk about religion, blah, blah, blah. But she was pushing for this narrative, for this slavery in Kemet, So, and sometimes, some things just incompatible, what I'm saying? It's a shame, but they were together, they did their thing, what I'm saying? She would cut a lot of people off and, you had to, tell her to slow down, but it is what it is, And these people, that's about God too, what I'm saying? But, that she was like, in French, we say deuxième bureau. If you translate it word for word, it's like second office, Saneda has his main lady, his great royal wife, is Hemet Nesu Uret, or Hemet Uret Nesu, as we will say in Medu Nature, And it is what it is. I just, things like that happen. Sometimes people are together and they're no longer together. However, stealing the money, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's not what Yah or Yahweh or Elohim teaches. It's not good to steal the money, sister. I mean, you're talking about human right violation. You didn't enslave anybody, but Saneda accused you publicly of stealing money, apparently, and it looks like some brother's going to give us some evidence. It's not good. You wrote, yes, that's what made me leave FOR. It was the final straw from the video about Malcolm X. Now, the video about Malcolm X, for those who never seen it, a lot of people just don't know what those guys teach, I'm going to play the video about Malcolm X. Now, if anybody knows about this accusation, apparently it was on one video. The good fella Nela is about to show us. So if I can have, the screen print, the actual part where Saneda left that. In the meantime, I'm going to look for on Killer Priest podcast, because the comment should appear, and that's interesting. I'm wondering now, was she a plant? She go there on purpose to cap for the Hebrew Israelite doctrine? I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, relationships being over, it's natural. It happens everywhere. But stealing money, that's not cool. So I'm going to play Farrakhan talking about Malcolm X after his death, and Professor Griff and Tariq Nasheed might tell us if he's being on code. Willie D also might tell us if he's being on code.
Yeah, I love Elijah Muhammad enough that if you attack him, I would kill you. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child. Here's a woman who fought a bear because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped her baby. Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats. The white man deals with his. the Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today.
Now, Jehu sent me that link. 132:22. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, brothers and sisters, I'm going to do a new live stream called "The Pasha Stole Senator's Money." Yeah. You know, I held my tongue for a long time because out of respect for Sanetta, because she was his chick. I mean, the second time when I did the metal lecture class, she's trying to rally people against me and all that. It's just, I was like, hey man, it's about this chick. I'm gonna, lay low. But now, stealing for real? Hold on. Now I want to get her name right. Get her name right. So, okay, that's how I spell. Let me spell. All right, it's not a good look. Oh, she has blonde hair. I understand why she was defending that other blonde hair lady. Look, she has blonde hair here. Well, maybe she would say it's not blonde, it's reddish. I don't know. I could call it hair. She has 6,000 subscribers on the channel. All right. No hard feeling. It's only public stuff. Gonna get some clarity. You know what I'm saying? So, preparing the next live. Be long, brothers and sisters. We have to do this right. Hold on, there's a lot of noise here. We have to do this right. We have to get some clarity. I mean, the conscious community is already accepting rapists, pedophiles, liars, scammers. Scamming is a form of stealing. Scamming is different. Scamming is like, you're kind of coercing people, you're kind of tricking people, but stealing is different. It's like, give me that. It's like, you're just taking it like that, So
that Uncle Suge name that you saw a little earlier, I think that's a YouTube channel, because I'm like searching on YouTube and I see a video by Uncle Suge, is how I'm saying it, and it's saying breaking news: Killer Priest steals Napa from Sinetta after Napa.
That's the one I shared with him.
Yeah, that's the one he shared with me.
Same video.
All right.
Now hold on. I'm looking for a vid.
That's a crazy screenshot.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to show the thumbnail that I will use. So people understand I did not create it. All right. Now I went on YouTube and I've typed in Napa Sanetta. Is it sharing? Yes. So see? Napa Sanetta, right? And those are the results. And you see that one there? So I don't know if this is I don't know who the lady is, because some videos, some pictures came out. I don't know if it's her, but here we have and we can see the video, but we have the message of Sanetta. Sanetta Studio said Napa ran off and stolen the money from me. I mean, he probably meant me. He says my and Jabari debate, so people can understand that this was 6 days ago. I did not create that. Oh, Uncle Shug, that's what he meant. Because, okay, I understand. Well, actually, that's the video that I'm going to. Hold on, is it the same one? Breaking news is the same one. Oh, maybe I should come up with a different one, because if I use the same stuff. Well, there's another one here which says, Napa, you robbed Sanetta and Jabari for the debate money. And we even have Sanetta goes in on Napa. Senator tells Natasha that to stop calling him her husband. Well, look at this one here. Hassan Campbell goes in on Senator's new wife Napa news and call her a home wrecker. I mean, I don't. You know what? I don't know which. Napa Senator picture should I use? Okay, I'll use that one. I'll use a more conservative picture. All right, so this one here. There you go. So now I will put 50 for 50. Say it ain't so, Sister Napa. Say it ain't so. Unless Yahweh told you to. Now, if Yahweh told you to, then I guess you get a pass.
I seen something else too, man. I don't know. Do you ever remember seeing Neo X on Sarnetta show? The lady Neo X.
Neo X, that doesn't ring a bell to me.
Okay, well she's a lady. She does debates. She was a former Hebrew Israelite, but she was supposed to have a debate on there. But I seen where she did a show talking about Nepal and how she was the reason that the debate didn't happen because she had, I guess, Nepal didn't like her for some reason or whatever. But yeah, it was a lot of drama going on with that. I think because Nepal, I don't know if she still is, but at one time, she had like a wrench on his channel so she could block people and time them out. So like she blocked Neo X from the channel, and now it's like all kind of crazy stuff.
Well, you know what? I'm just about to start the other live stream, so I'm going to put the link so everybody can follow along. So here, I'm going to do this. Boom, boom, and then intro. So let me share the link. And if I refresh, it will start. Should have started. Hold on, let me refresh the page. Okay, now it has started. So here, let's do this. This. All right, so everybody now, what's the first one? That's the first one. All right, everybody go there, and I see you there. All right, brothers and sisters.
All right.
All right.